Hey, what's up, man? It's the
Hey.
Opie and Anthony show.
How's it happening?
We are live in New York City. We were able to get into the city today.
Back to our home base.
A couple phone numbers we want to give out right away because we really need to do this with you guys today. We need to hear from you guys. If you're in the New York area, 877-692-1027. Anywhere else, 866-277-4WOW. That's 866-277-4WOW. I hope all the radio stations that we syndicate to are picking up our show today.
Yeah, what happened yesterday? I think a station or two bailed out of our broadcast.
Rochester could go F themselves.
What did they do?
And if I have any power in this company, we will move to another station that gets it.
Ooh.
They decided to go to local programming yesterday.
Which means?
Rock music that you've heard a million times.
Oh, a classic Bud Rock?
Yeah.
Well, why,
I'm sure they'll cut this out because we're on tape delay, but just a stupid move.
Wouldn't it be kind of...
We had a show yesterday that was all about raw emotion and people that were just sharing their feelings and their stories, and we have one of the stations that we're on deciding that, you know, they'd rather play music.
Oh, that's silly.
That's a station I don't need to be on. Don't need it. Anyway, yes, Ben.
Also, I just got an email. Columbus didn't carry the show either yesterday.
Why is that?
Well, Columbus, they kind of had an excuse. They wanted to, they needed the satellite for some kind of AM news station or something.
That's excuse.
They were running news?
Yeah, but
all right.
Just amazes me that Rochester would decide that music was more important than the show we put on yesterday.
Yeah, we're talking to people that were involved in what went on here in New York. So, I don't know. That's odd.
All right, where do we begin today? Well, first,
day two.
Day two, the day after, whatever you want to call it.
I'm a little more pissed off.
Right. I gotta start by sharing a story, Ed, and then we could go with that, okay?
All right.
Because, I think to most people yesterday, it just didn't seem real. I mean, it was so surreal. It was like, am I watching all this live on TV? It just, you're seeing it, sure, but it was hard. You just couldn't believe you were seeing it. You know what I mean? It wasn't really sinking in. You felt like you were in a dream, a nightmare. Watching a movie, some people have said. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, am I really seeing people, falling out of these buildings, jumping to their death, people screaming?
Horrible.
Am I hearing the S word and the F word on national TV because they have, home video of new angles of the planes hitting the World Trade Center? I couldn't believe I was seeing it, right? So we did our show from the studios out there in Garden City at WLIR. I want to thank those guys for helping us out yesterday. We couldn't get in the city. They closed the city,
Yeah.
And so after the show, we walk out to our cars, and it was just, wasn't it creepy? There was just no one around.
Yeah.
The roads were dead.
Very eerie.
Very eerie. The sun, one of the nicest sunsets I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Through that cloud and stuff, it was just weird. Anyway.
It was a beautiful day.
So, the story I want to share, so I'm driving back home to, Huntington where I live, on Long Island, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And, because of this job and stuff, there are hundreds of times I'm driving home late from the city or a gig or just hanging out on Long Island. And I take the same route home. And I drive by, my local, train station.
Yeah.
Cold Spring Harbor, I go by and there's a light there. And I swear, just because of how the parking lot is set up and stuff, kind of on a hill and everything, you always look over and you always look at the parking lot for some reason. And usually you see a scattering of cars, maybe 10 or 12, people that decided to go in the city, stay over for whatever reason, okay?
Yeah.
Last night I'm with my brother Brett, and we're driving. And also we're at the light, and he nudges me and goes, look at the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, when I tell you there were hundreds of cars in that parking lot.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, and that's when the reality of this whole thing hit me. I'm like, holy S. Not every single one of these cars, but there are a lot of people that parked in the morning that are not coming back to their cars.
Yeah.
And that's when I completely lost it, and it all just started making sense, and it sunk in. Like, holy crap.
Yeah.
This really did happen.
Yes, it did. As we watched a million times. Boy, the news. All right, I think we've all seen it. I don't think they have to just keep playing the clips over and over again, okay?
Well, they will.
they'll play them forever. Enough. Please, and the people falling out of the building is just beyond even being able to deal with. You know, I can't watch that on TV. I can't thumb through the newspaper and see it in the paper.
Well, you know, I personally pride myself on being a tough guy. You know what I mean? I was on the Long Island Railroad this morning, and every paper decided to run, you know, one shot of the people falling.
Mm-hmm.
I freaking lost it on the train. Just lost it. It's like, guy, you know, there's one, I don't know what paper, guy in a business suit, no shoes on, just plummeting to his death. There you go. Right in our paper. You know? If you're hearing this in other cities, do yourself a favor and try to find the New York newspapers, because there are some eyewitness accounts in there that'll just blow your mind. Because, I mean, all of the mainstream media of New York was down on the scene by the time the second plane hit.
Yeah.
And some of the accounts are just unbelievable. People walking around the building, you know, picking up business cards from this guy who worked in this company on the 90th floor of the World Trade Center. People found checks.
Yeah, there's just personal stuff from people.
Pictures.
Strewn all over the place.
You know, children's pictures that were on people's desks. Just amazing stuff in the paper today.
Yeah, I was totally bummed last night. Driving home from Long Island, trying to get into Brooklyn. You know, that's west, trying to get toward the city, which major highways were just closed. So I had to take what amounts to secondary roads and side streets, about 20 miles or so, to get home last night. And I finally get home. It's 9 o'clock or something. I'm seeing the smoke and smelling the smoke from the World Trade Center where it was. And it was so strange. I'm walking into my apartment. Beautiful night last night. You know, it was nice and cool, one of those great nights. And it was dark, and I saw the lights across the river in Jersey and Staten Island. And then I'm thinking, I can't hear a thing, a little breeze. I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, like a mile or so away from me right now.
Tops,
a couple of miles. Havoc was going on. But it was fine there where I was.
Yeah.
Just a couple of miles away.
Yeah.
And then the reality, like you said, hits you, and you just, geez, this is so effed. And it was just like a curse because I'm so pissed off.
And it was just such a weird feeling. I fell asleep with the TV on. I'm like, there's no way I'm turning this crap off. So, you know, I got my pillow and I'm on my couch, and I passed out when I did. I had no clue. Woke up, it was still on. And I just had this feeling I just needed to be in New York today. Just needed to, you know, because we felt so detached yesterday from everything.
Yeah, it was kind of weird being on Long Island trying to talk about what's going on in the city when we're usually right here in the middle of Manhattan.
Right. So I go to the Huntington train station today. And it was just the weirdest thing. I've taken the same train so many times, not even funny. A ton of people going, taking the train into the city on the 922 out of Huntington, on the platform. No one was smiling.
Everyone's all pissed.
No, I understand. No one was talking. They were moving around like zombies. No one would acknowledge anyone else. There were doctors all over the platform trying to get into the city. There were guys in army fatigues all over the place with dogs, going into the city with the dogs. Don't have to tell you what that's all about. And on the train, not a word. I mean, it was a packed train, not one word the whole ride in.
Yeah. Everyone's pissed.
And then, I walked the 23 blocks up to, where we broadcast, and it's just weird out there.
Yeah, they beat us up real good.
It's just weird. I was out front of the Empire State Building, and I just didn't, I have to admit it, I just felt like get away from this building. I swear, because, they had cornered off, they had cops all over, just kind of, because we're on tourist alert right now.
Yeah, there's, I think it's the John F. Kennedy. The aircraft carrier?
Yeah.
That's right here in the harbor. And fighter planes. It's all you hear. But it is a little alarming when you hear the any jet engine over your head here in New York City, because you just think about it. I mean, you look up at a tall building that you're next to, because, Christ, it's New York. And, it kind of brings you right to that, right to the moment and the place. That was the World Trade Center yesterday.
We went out for coffee. There's just a truck, an army truck going by filled with the army guys.
Yeah.
Just tooling down 57th.
Who thought? Who would have thunk it?
And when we went outside, it's just weird. People, there's a guy downstairs at the Brooklyn Diner. He could care less about us in general. He gives us coffee, and, we see him for breakfast every once in a while. He's one of the, the managers there or something.
Yeah.
We walked out of the building. We were just kind of hanging out there, and he comes running out to shake our hand and goes, it's just so good to see you guys.
Yeah, everybody's pretty happy to see everyone.
Yeah, and they're just, in your little neighborhood in the city, they're just, running around and, saying, hey, all right, you're okay.
Yeah, that seems to be what everyone's doing today. And, it just sunk in, like last night after I got home, of course, I'm just watching the coverage like everyone else. And you're watching the same stuff. There really wasn't anything new happening. So it's just being bashed in your head the whole night. And I think everybody was doing this. You didn't want to peel yourself away from the television, even though it was the same stuff over and over again. And finally, we just said, screw it, let's go to bed. And that's when, you're just laying there and you try to shut your eyes and go to sleep. And all I'm seeing is planes crashing into buildings and the fireballs and the different angles and the people falling. And it made it really hard to fall asleep. I think I got to sleep at 3 and woke up at 7:30 this morning.
Yeah.
I had no sleep. And I just woke up again more pissed than I was yesterday about this whole thing.
Were you happy with the president's speech last night?
No.
Could we wake up Reagan, please? Get rid of the Alzheimer's? Get someone with emotion?
Now, I know
that knows how to talk to the American people. I know they have things they have to do and stuff, but there's a way of showing you mean business and a way of showing a little anger and a little emotion. He was a freaking robot reading cue cards. I felt like I was watching Carson Daly. And this was like TRL or something. Like, hello, say something.
It's true.
He said nothing. He said nothing last night.
And watch him. And it's your typical politician making a speech. Now, I know the whole line. We stand behind the president, that whole deal. But you know something? I want to see, either from him or somebody, some anger. Be pissed off. It's okay. I don't want an eloquent speech written by a speechwriter about how we will overcome this and how America is brave and strong. We know that, okay? We're the Americans you're talking about. What I want to hear is how pissed off we are, and how we are absolutely gonna screw some people up over this thing. The anger isn't there. The genuine emotion that they feel as human beings is lost in their reading of these speeches. That's what annoys the hell out of me. I want anger. I'm pissed. So when I look at a leader on the TV talking about this whole thing, I want him to be pissed, to assure me. You don't have to assure me that America will go on and we will heal. I know this. I want to be assured that we're going to kick some ass. That's what I want to be assured about. And that's something I haven't seen yet. And that pisses me off.
Hallelujah.
We got to make a statement here. And people might say I sound nutty saying this, or, oh, that's what everyone's saying or something. I truly believe, and I never thought I'd say this, that we have to use something in the line of a low-yield nuclear weapon. Either on Afghanistan, who is known to harbor bin Laden, and we have to set an example. We could firebomb the whole city over there, Kabul, with conventional weapons. And you know what? It won't mean anything. We've done this before. But if you detonate a nuclear weapon over a country, do you think another country is going to want to help out these terrorists, knowing that, hey, the U.S. They'll nuke you? And I think we get away with it with the rest of the world seeing what we just went through. It's not like we'd all of a sudden be under an umbrella of nuclear weapons raining down on us. It can't. I think this is the perfect time to use a horrible weapon to make these people think twice about doing something.
I've already heard people on the radio saying, don't stoop to their level.
No. Please.
We will find them and bring them to justice.
Diplomacy should be used to calm down the people that will be pissed after we use some kind of low-yield tactical nuclear weapon in a desert area of Afghanistan. It doesn't even have to kill anybody. Do you understand that? I'm not talking about even nuking the city. You drop it in the desert, just the statement it would make that we dropped a nuclear weapon on your country because you were involved with terrorists would make the ultimate statement that if you're a country that's going to back these people, this is the price you're going to pay. And I do believe a lot of countries would be pissed yeah, they'd have to come out and say, oh my God, this is horrible that the United States would use a weapon like this. But that's when our diplomats go out and say, hey, you know something? Look at this videotape. Thousands of people right here dead. So, you want to say this isn't justified?
Right.
Go screw. And that's where diplomacy can come in. But before that, we have to make a statement that is bigger and huger than anything we've ever done before.
Bravo. Let's go to the phones. We need to do this with you guys today, so please give us a call with your stories, your what you're feeling, all that crap. You know the deal. Frank, what's going on?
Fellas, what's happening?
Hey.
I got a couple stories, but before I do that, I just want to thank you guys for being on the air yesterday to add a little bit of reassurance and normalcy that, you know, things are going to get back to normal. Just hearing the news all day was eerie, but hearing you guys made it seem a little bit like it wasn't going to be that bad all the time. You know what I mean?
Well,
Opie, I understand what you're saying. I know you don't think you did anything, but I think a lot of listeners will agree that being able to hear perspective from guys like you that we kind of feel as you're our friends made us feel a little better. I know I'm sitting in my office not knowing how I'm getting home.
We were put in a position yesterday that I have no desire to be in.
Right.
None whatsoever. I'm all about let's have some fun, let's get some chuckles out there, make you forget about your day at work. And we were thrown into a situation, and then, we did the best we could, and I appreciate that, Frank.
You guys did a fantastic job.
You know?
Couple things I wanted to relate. I work in Midtown, and last night when the train started running, I finally knew I could get to my apartment uptown, and just walking in the streets in Midtown, normally rush hour, with nobody was eerie.
Yeah.
The weirdest thing.
There's barely anyone outside our building right now.
Yeah.
And no one is smiling, no one is talking. It is just a weird scene.
And what Aunt said, I was sitting there last night in my apartment hearing F-15s flying over.
It's how weird is that when you just hear the scream of, and you could tell the difference between a fighter engine than a passenger jet engine. But it kind of shakes you up a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah, I hope we're expressing this to the other cities that obviously are in New York or Washington, how insane it is around here. It's just strange.
Mm-hmm.
It's like first of all, it's like a ghost town in many sections of the city.
Yeah.
Like Ann says, we got jets flying overhead. We got army men. We've seen guns now.
2 days ago, who would ever have thought you'd have that in one of the biggest cities in the world, New York City. Army vehicles going around, National Guard in the streets, people trying to pull bodies out of wreckage. And a huge national landmark, the World Trade Center, both towers gone. It's inconceivable. It's something that only happened in the movies. And dealing with it is just, I get more pissed every time I watch those clips. And, you really start thinking deep into everything. Who hasn't thought about what it was like in those planes? And the smiling face of that son of a bitch at the controls when he drilled it into those buildings. I mean, it gets me so pissed off, and there's only one way to deal with it. To make it so these people have nowhere to go. No country would dare take them in because they know that the wrath of the United States would be unlike anything they've seen in the past, except maybe for Hiroshima or Nagasaki. It's the only way we can deal with this situation. And no one's saying it. No one's pissed off on the news. No one's pissed.
They're all careful. Being real careful.
If I have to look at Paula Zahn's face looking like she's smiling through this whole thing, I don't know. Maybe that's just a look. But it's pissing me off that she's looking like that.
They're all wondering how this is going to affect their political careers in this
Right.
time.
Are they going to win an award when it comes around to best news coverage of a huge story? No one's pissed off. I'm effing pissed. And I don't want to sit and listen to George Bush say that they can't hide forever. And these countries won't be able to back them forever. What we need now is patience. No, screw patience. Because you know what happens with patience and waiting and weeks go by? People forget and lose this pissed off feeling that they have. And it goes on business as usual. And just like when those embassies got bombed and military barracks get bombed, we forget. And we don't care. We have short-term memory loss here. We kind of, it fades away. And we can't let that happen. We gotta stay pissed.
Alan, what's up?
Yeah, hi. Just a couple of quick comments. Remember back in the Cuban Missile Crisis, Kennedy dealt with it, and he's afraid that if he didn't deal with it, he could be impeached. I wonder if the same thing would happen to President Bush. If he doesn't deal with this and try and protect the American public, could he be impeached from office also?
Well, he's obviously going to do something. It's just, the waiting is killing us all.
Yeah. And my second point is...
You can't just sit on his butt, bro.
Well, I wasn't impressed by his speech, and this morning
the speech was ridiculous. I think we could all agree. I mean, he was reading, a prepared statement, basically, on cue cards. We need I love him or hate him, man. Reagan was a leader. He was a leader. When he talked to the American people, whether you agreed or disagreed, you're like, holy ass, that guy means business.
Right, people feared him.
Right, yeah, and I agree. And this morning he says, well, he's going to get money from Congress. Who needs money now? We need action.
Right, we need action.
And the other thing is, when the FBI is supposedly arresting all these guys and finding them in Miami and Boston and wherever else.
Wow, the Westin Hotel in Boston.
Yeah, that's just like, finding a few cells of cancer. You got to get to the root of the cancer before you're going to eradicate the whole thing.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. And there's a lot of people saying they don't agree with what I'm saying about using some kind of nuclear weapon. They're saying it would start a nuclear war. With who? Who would then launch? What nuclear powers in the world would then launch a nuclear strike against us, having seen the damage these bastards did to a couple of our cities? China? Is China going to launch against us? Is Russia going to launch? No. Will they be outraged? Sure. Yeah. And I think we have a damn good explanation. Just look at the videotape of people jumping out windows and airplanes full of people flying into the sides of buildings. Jumping out of windows thinking that's the only chance they got. Do you honestly think a country's going to launch a nuclear war against us for using a nuclear weapon against these animals? No. This right here is the perfect time to use it, because there isn't a country that would respond in kind. They would look and go, holy crap, we better not handle these terrorists. We better not sponsor them. We better not put them up. We better not give them a breakfast. The United States just nuked Afghanistan. Plus, wait till you hear how many people have died. I mean, the mayor, he's doing a great job trying to keep the city positive and together, instead of starting to talk about numbers of how many people have died down there. Yep. He's spinning it the other way. Hey, good news. We found 5 guys, alive 4:30 this morning. We found this guy over here. They're starting to say 10 to 15,000. They're saying thousands dead here in this. More than has been killed in terrorist acts between Palestine and Israel in years. JD, this is huge.
Hey, what's up? Hold on. I was talking to one of the sales guys. I don't think he wants to come on the air. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the people that worked at the World Trade Center, they lived in Hoboken.
Yeah.
They said half that neighborhood could be gone because so many people lived there because it was an easy commute.
Really
right.
And they're saying that, there are just, that area is completely devastated. They don't know where their neighbors are.
Whole, firms that worked in those office buildings. There were firms that employed, 3,500 people a clip that just don't know where any of the people that worked in those firms are. They just disappeared. And we're supposed to sit back and be patient and wait and not be angry and show some spirit.
They can't hide forever. What are we going to play hide and seek with them?
Yeah. Still with you guys?
Hey JD, what's up? What's up, man?
Not too much, guys. Listen, I'm with you 100% there. Time to warm up the nukes for crying out loud instead of letting them sit there collecting dust.
It would make such a statement, and that's
but
what
there's another statement
needed.
we can put right behind that, though, bro.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's plenty of politicians out there that are just as whacked as you guys and all of us listeners are over there. We got to get these guys to get Congress to stand behind the city and the state and pack in the funds and dig out the old blueprints of the World Trade Center and put it back exactly the way it was before.
We are way too early. But
yeah, something.
That way, man.
That would be more of a statement than leaving an empty parking lot as a memorial.
Yeah, I don't want an effing park there. I don't want a cushy, feel-good monument or park. What we need there is a huge building, just like the World Trade Center, just like those 2 towers.
That's a statement in itself saying you're not going to stop us. We are what we are. We will always be what we've been.
Build it bigger, build it taller, beat out the one that's in Malaysia, the one that is the world's tallest building now. Go ahead. You took that one down. We'll build one bigger and better.
Exactly. And I want to reiterate what the guy said earlier. You guys were such. It was so good to hear you guys. I know you guys were forced into this position, but it was still a huge relief to hear some familiar voices on the radio. Well, and people we can relate to, you know?
I personally didn't think it was my place, you know?
I didn't want to come on the air yesterday.
I'm sure you guys didn't, but you know, you really did a great job.
You know what
really
it is, though? Screw that. As for selfish reasons, when we got done yesterday, I felt bad, because then it was like, now I got nothing to do but think about this, you know? It kind of was, if I could use the politically, or the cushy psychobabble word, therapeutic. It was kind of that way for me. Yeah, it gave us something to do and occupy our time and minds. So then when 7 o'clock rolled around, it was like, oh crap, now I got to deal with the reality of this whole thing.
Well, I think most of your listeners are all in the same mindset as you guys are, and you know, we're all in this together, and we all feel the same way. It's just nice to be able to have some people that think the same way as your listeners do, and just to get it out, you know, vent a little bit. Because what else can we do? We're standing there with our hands in our pockets and don't know what the next step is.
We've just been beat up, and we would like to kick some ass immediately. And I understand, you know, Paul from Boston's checking in on instant feedback, and he says I should stop this crap and stand behind the president.
We're not saying we're not standing behind the president.
I am standing behind it, and I know that we will do something. There will be a response, and I'm sure it will be huge. I just want to see genuine emotion from these people. It seems to me like a lot of the politicians, not just George W. Bush, but a lot of them that are taken to the TV and reading these speeches are trying to make these historic, will last forever, a day that will live in infamy, Ich bin ein Berliner kind of history speeches. I don't care about that. I want real emotion. I want reality from these people. I want to know they're pissed and that they're going to do something about it.
That's what's missing with our leaders today. You know, you just
genuine emotion.
Oh my God!
Right.
Pat, what's up?
Yeah, how you guys doing?
All right.
I've been listening to you guys maybe since like team week last year. Surprised yesterday you guys thought your composure was so good, and that was pretty good of you guys. But I'm a freshman in college, and I listened to you guys all day yesterday, and I was just you guys were angry and everything. I was just sick just sitting there, but this morning I turned on CNN, man. It was like, get those hydrogen bombs up and throw them over there.
Yeah. All right, Pat, thank you. Yeah, I see everyone's just pissed. Let's go to Jamie. Jamie!
Yeah, what's up, guys?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, I just wanted to, sorry, a little nervous. Little sickened about everything also.
I bet.
I'm a volunteer fireman over here on Long Island.
Yeah.
I live in Huntington, Opie, and I drove by that Cold Spring Harbor train station.
Yeah.
And coming home from my firehouse last night, going by there, about 11 o'clock at night, there's still 50 cars to 100 cars maybe in the parking lot.
Yeah, and it's never like that. You know that.
Exactly. I go by there every day, 3:30, 4 o'clock.
And that's just our little community.
Right, exactly.
This is happening in all the communities around the tri-state area.
Well, you can only hope it was people that were forced to walk out and...
Yeah, you're assuming that some of them are, sure, okay, but
you get the train service home.
You could bet your bottom dollar, though, there's a few right there in Cold Spring Harbor that didn't make it.
Oh, yeah, it was weird, too, because we got called in to go sit at the Belmont racetrack to get called in as, relief crews for the city.
Yeah.
And fortunately and unfortunately, we didn't get to, our crew didn't make it to go in, but there are crews from departments that we know that did make it in there, and there are also city firemen that were friends of ours that are volunteers also on the island, too, that we've already known that didn't make it.
You know, when you hear the reports that up to 300 or 400 firefighters and police officers are dead,
which in my opinion I think is a conservative number right now.
Oh, yeah, we've been hearing reports of, I won't give numbers because it's just what we were hearing, but it is a heck of a lot more than 300 or 400 tags that are still not accounted for.
You can't even imagine something like that. I mean, the outpouring of emotion for the 3 firefighters that were killed recently was unbelievable. The funerals for them, could you imagine that times 100?
Right. We were at one of those funerals for one of those guys, the one from Hempstead.
How do you even deal with something like that? 300 or 400 or more funerals for these people. I mean, it's something you can't even imagine or know how they would deal with or even carry out.
The chief of the department was standing next to command post. The chief and I think 2 or 3 of his assistants.
Yeah.
And we've been listening. We also have a scanner in my garage at work, and I got it in my car. And we're listening to Manhattan Central Communications. And they're going over the air with the announcements of the deputy chiefs and the chiefs saying that they were killed on 9/11, the box number and everything else.
and you're sitting in your car listening to it, and you're like, you know, it's hitting you. You're seeing all these cars to the train station. You're listening to it on the radio, on the scanner and stuff. And we're standing there in Belmont Racetrack just watching the smoke come over the horizon. And, you know, listening to the scanners in Belmont Racetrack, it's just, you can't imagine. You know, everybody's sitting there watching on TV, and we were, you know, say a step closer, listening to it on the scanners, hearing, you listened on the scanner yesterday, they had a captain talking underneath the rubble with 5 of his guys, or 4 or 5 of his guys. Talking, saying he's trapped, and they couldn't get to him.
It's just despicable. And these guys, I mean, against everything your instincts tell you, they run into a building that any normal human would just flee from. And these guys, you know, one mission to get in there and help people and get them out. And their lives were taken doing that by these animals.
Yep.
You can only imagine. We've had some little fires in this building. You know, maybe the kitchen at one of the restaurants downstairs, smoke in the elevator shaft.
Maybe when we were cooking rat.
No. But I mean, just for a small situation like that, it's amazing how many firemen are in a building.
They were doing triage in the stairways, and I mean, people that were burnt.
No one knew that first building especially was coming down, and their job, the heroes that they are to go in there and help these people get out and try to fight that fire that was way up in the 80s. And it's just, I cannot imagine how we have to deal with hundreds of these guys, these firefighters and cops, hundreds of them dying. I don't know how we're going to deal with that.
I don't know if you heard stories. I'll make this the last thing. I'll let you guys go on. There was a guy who was on the 80th floor of Tower 2, and when the fire broke out, you know, when the first plane hit, they started evacuating. They got down to the 50th floor, and the PA system was saying, there's a fire in Tower 1. It's the firemen are there trying to get under control. You can resume your normal duties.
Yeah, we've heard that on the news.
So people were starting to go back up, and this one guy was saying, screw this, I'm going out.
Yep.
And then the plane crashed right into the same floor that he was on.
Yep, made the right decision.
Yeah, you tell me.
All right, Jamie, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Let's go to Keith the cop, a very good friend of the show. Keith.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? How are you?
Hey, bro.
Let me tell you, the pictures and the news, it pales in comparison to seeing it in person.
Yeah, well, that's something I really don't need in my nightmares for the rest of my life. I don't know how you guys are even doing it.
You know, I mean, to go down there last night and the darkness and just, it's unbelievable, man. I mean, the cars just piled on top of each other that blew up and the shells of cars and to see the buildings just, dude, it's unbelievable. I mean, you know, and now we're here and we're starting to deal with, you know, the loss, you know, and to thinking of the people that, you know, you worked with and to try and go on and do what we do, you know.
I don't know how the hell you do it and how you go on after something like this and do things like, you know, go out bike riding on a weekend or so, or just go on with your life after you've seen something like this. I don't know how you guys do it.
Yeah. I mean, you know, went home finally this morning at like 6 o'clock, and we just got back into work today, and you come in and you see the resources that are here. I mean, the departments from, you know, you got to thank them from all over the tri-state area, and the amount of equipment, the construction equipment, it's just...
Yeah, we've seen it coming into the city, and the news, you watch the news, the faces on the cops and the firefighters taking maybe 5 minutes to sit down and just catch their breath. The looks on their faces, you could look at old film clips of Vietnam, and you see that same look on the people's faces that are sitting there that have been in battle. And, you know, it's not much different than what you guys are going through.
No, it's really not, you know.
And unfortunately, I think a lot of the police and firefighters and emergency service workers are going to go through a lot of the stuff that veterans of war have to go through, which is horrible.
You know, it sometimes doesn't hit you. Like, I just came back now, and I mean, the car ride in, we were together with friends and we're joking and everything, and you get in and you start seeing it again, just coming over the bridge and seeing the cloud.
Yeah, the cloud is so eerie.
It's a ghost of the World Trade Center that won't go away.
Yeah.
It's a plume of smoke exactly where the towers were. And it gives you an image of where it was. It's a ghost of the buildings. Yeah. And it won't go away.
It's, you see it on TV. It's another to see it live. It's just, I don't know how we could express it to you guys. It's so eerie because there's not a cloud in the sky in Manhattan today except for that cloud.
Yeah, another, what would have been a beautiful day.
You're walking around downtown and you see the civilians and the cops. I mean, walking around with the filter masks on.
Yeah.
People trying to go about their daily routine, and we have to live like this now.
The other thing, taking the Long Island Railroad in today, you get a beautiful shot of the entire New York City skyline just before you go into the tunnel there.
Right.
And just as we got to that point, most people on a regular day take the skyline for granted, and it's like, oh, whatever. Oh, they'll, look up in their newspaper maybe real fast or whatever. Today, it was amazing how many people shifted to the left side of the train to try to see where the Twin Towers used to be.
Yeah.
It was powerful.
Yeah.
It's awful, man.
All right, fellas, I'm going to work.
All right, Keith.
Get some sleep at some point. Jesus.
Yeah. All right, thanks, man. I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right,
Keith. Let's know what I did right when I got home? Polished off the bottle of Captain Morgan that I had. I got home at about 9 o'clock. It was on top of the fridge. Didn't even stop to take my usual, I just got home leak. No, just mixed it right up. I needed it. If I ever needed a stiff drink, it was last night.
That's what a lot of people did in Manhattan last night. I mean,
a lot of bars full of people with the TVs on, yeah.
People just getting completely hammered, not in a celebratory way, just getting hammered, just trying to numb the pain, and all just kind of crowded around the TVs checking it out. Ben's whole neighborhood, the bars were just completely packed.
I walked 60 blocks home last night to get the feel. So a good 60 blocks.
Wow.
You could start smelling the smoke in the 30s, and then the firefighters and the teens.
Yeah.
And just all the crap all over them, from the wreckage, and then going to St. Vincent's, which was just totally indescribable because they had the stretchers and the wheelchairs and everything lined up. But, people were out everywhere. Restaurants were just packed with the TVs on, blaring loud, and just everyone glued. Everywhere.
We would love to think we're prepared for stuff like this as a country, where we would have all the appropriate equipment and everything else. And you think by some miracle, God damn it, we're the United States of America, most powerful country in the world, richest nation, that we would have everything available to us. And, we could take anything, and we will move on. But when you look at people using office chairs as stretchers and pickup trucks being used as ambulance, you realize, it doesn't even come down to the fact that we're the USA and we're rich and powerful. It's all just the people making do with what they got, just like any other people in that situation would do, You like to think some miracle is going to happen and we're going to have these stretch ambulance show up or something, but it's just not that way, and a lot of people didn't realize this until yesterday.
Rob, New York City cop, what's up?
Hey, how are you guys? Listen, I was working here last night. I was on 57th Street, right in front of the studio, and I got to say, it was, like you guys were saying, it was surreal. I mean, I got home at like 5 o'clock in the morning, not a cloud in the sky, and beautiful night, and all I could think of, our world has changed, to no end. It's never going to be the same. It's always going to be, you're always going to have this in the back of your mind. This is going to, just like the Pearl Harbor of our generations, what all of us kept saying.
Yeah.
We were just in shock.
It's just overwhelming. I mean, most of us will get that phone call. How many of you guys are, you hear the phone ring at home, you're like, oh no, here it comes. Here it comes.
You know what it is? It's over the next few weeks, when they start releasing names, you're going to realize, I mean, I play hockey in a cop fireman league, and I know there's guys that I'm never going to see again, and it hasn't hit home yet. Like, you're starting to call friends up. Hey, you spoke to this guy? Yeah. Oh, yeah, we heard from him. We heard from him. But somewhere down the line, you're going to see somebody and say, hey, whatever happened to so-and-so? And it's going to be like, no, he was in the blast. And that's when it's going to start hitting home. You're going to see a lot of hearses around the neighborhood, a lot of families. Like you guys talk about Hoboken, communities are just going to be gone, destroyed. And it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah. I mean, there are families out there that are so desperate for information, they're putting websites up with pictures of their loved one going, hey, has anyone seen this guy? We haven't heard from him yet.
Right.
Ben was showing us a couple of those in the back office. I don't know how much more of this crap I could take.
Yeah.
It just rips your heart.
I just took the LAE, and it was like exactly you were saying. You put it great. It was it's a ghost. I mean, you look there where the two beautiful buildings should be, and that smoke just does not want to go away. It's just there as a reminder of what used to be and how it's going to be. It's heart-wrenching. It's like the worst day. This has got to be the worst day of my life.
Yeah, and part of you is thinking, that didn't really happen. When the smoke clears, the tower's going to be there. It's behind the smoke.
Yeah,
it's right there. We just can't see it yet.
I was saying yesterday, it was like when the Challenger exploded. You didn't want to believe that it had exploded and everyone in there had died. You wanted to think that something was going to save them.
All right, Rob, we're going to let you go. You're breaking up a little bit, okay?
All right, guys. Thank you, and God bless everyone. Goodbye.
We're going to move on to Marty, who's friends with Billy Mack, a friend of the radio show. He's a New York City detective. Marty, what's up?
Hey, how you doing, guys? What's happening today?
Hey.
All right.
I was down there last night. What could you say? A lot of devastation.
Yeah.
Something I've never seen before in the years that I've been on this job. And I hopefully never have to see it again.
Yeah, well, I'm sick of the mainstream media going, asking people down there, so how do you prepare for something like this? You don't teach classes in this. You don't prepare. Shut up with the stupid questions.
Yeah, they're at the point now on the network newscasts and whatnot that they're just starting to ask the real inane, asinine questions like, how do you prepare for this? Oh, there's a class we take in horror.
There's no really class you take. I mean, you just hope for the best, and you hope you're ready for when these things happen. I mean, last night we were standing down there on Albany and Greenwich Street. It must have been about 10 o'clock. And we're watching all the firemen running up onto the rubble of what used to be, the World Trade Center.
Yeah.
And searching for people. And unfortunately, I didn't see anybody being pulled out last night because it was just shortly after they were able to get up onto the rubble. But we're standing on the corner, and a fireman comes walking by us, a young guy, and he comes up to us, and he just happens to ask us how we're doing, how's everything going tonight. We tell him, everything's as best as can be expected for now. And we ask him the same, how are you doing tonight? How are your guys? He turns around and he says to us, they're all dead.
Yeah.
And, what do you say to a guy like that?
Yeah. Nothing.
That walks up to you and tells you that everybody he was with is dead except for himself.
And there's nothing nothing anyone can do about it.
And he just goes wandering off down the street like he's trying to find some kind of reason why this all happened.
Well, we have to do something to make sure that doesn't happen again. All the reports that are coming in about how they a couple of them learned how to fly in a school in Florida.
Out of Daytona, yeah.
Over a year ago. They had enrolled in this school. This had been going on, this plan had been going on for over a year, and they were using the resources of this country to construct the plan of destruction that went down yesterday, and how we didn't find out about this. How they kept this a secret, a huge undertaking that was trained in Florida, these guys, these pilots in Florida. And how did we not know about it? Where was the intelligence?
It just goes to show you how vulnerable we really are.
Yeah,
you can't predict when it's going to happen.
Hey, Ann said it best yesterday. I think he was one of the first guys to say it about the Pentagon. We all grew up thinking that if there was any threat to the Pentagon or any building in Washington, the grounds would open up with this just amazing, force.
Artillery, and they would take it out, and nobody could ever get there.
Right. There's lasers in there, You always hear the urban legends about how the Pentagon and the White House and the Capitol all have these defense systems built in that nothing could penetrate it. But you know something? They could have picked any one of those buildings and devastated any of them. We are a lot. We're kind of more vulnerable than we thought.
This is true. I tell you, but I'm proud to be a New Yorker, and I'm proud to be a New York City detective. The things I saw last night from people, civilians walking around, doctors who came there on their own time, just walking through the crowds of people to try to help people.
Yeah.
People bringing us water and offering us things. Deli owners opening up the stores and saying, listen, guys, if you're hungry, please come and grab something to eat.
Yeah, the city has turned into, I think I heard on Don and Mike, the city has really turned into a small town. I mean, it's amazing. You could walk by the same shops every day and never talk to anyone. And today, people are coming out of their shops and seeing what they could do, and it's nice to see that. You know? It's nice to see it.
It's a typical New York story. Everybody pulling together as one.
You know what, though? I really can't wait till we get to the point where we hate each other again, because then we'll be back to normal. Then we'll know there's normalcy back in this city again when we can just turn around and hate each other.
Then we know we can move on with our radio show.
Move on.
That's it. All right, gentlemen. Have a nice day.
All right, man. Cool. Speaking of that, like the hatred, and I was at a gas station filling up on my way in, and there was a guy, obviously Middle Eastern guy that was working at this gas station, and very nervous. And I'd seen him in the past. I gas up there. Very nervous. And when I paid him, I asked him what the credit card swipe through on the pumps isn't working, and with a very put-on American accent, he said, "No, that is broken." Like he was trying not to have an accent.
Middle Eastern or whatever.
And I had heard him talk before. You know, he was putting this on, and he was genuinely scared. I passed by some cab drivers that, wear turbans. I could see their hair had from wearing turbans for years, they had turban head. And the big beard and whatnot, but, they were not wearing their turbans today. And just really stopping at lights and eyeing around, because there have been reports that people have started assaulting people of Middle Eastern descent.
Well, what do you think of what's going on in Patterson, New Jersey, in the Arabic community? People celebrating over there. In our country, celebrating.
Despicable, disgusting people.
How do you not go over there and crush some skulls?
They're over here.
If they're so happy, I would love to see those same people go down to the World Trade Center area and celebrate down there.
Yeah.
Let's see how brave they really are.
They enjoy the fruits of this country and then spit in everyone's face by celebrate. How do you celebrate something like that? Awful people. Just despicable. But what comes around will truly go around, and I can only hope that this government and the military really do what's necessary to just nip this in the bud right now.
All right. Irene, what's up?
Hi guys, what's up?
Hey.
I just wanted to, I work at Chase Manhattan Plaza, which is literally 2 blocks up.
It's right there.
From there, and I was there yesterday. And the experience of being that close was horrifying.
Yeah, I bet. You could tell just by
the window. You could see the plane crash right into the building.
You saw the second plane?
We saw the second plane. And the entire floor, I work at the conference center at J.P. Morgan Chase, and the entire floor just screamed. People started running out of the buildings, and we had to get everybody who didn't work there out. And it was just horrifying. Then we're sitting there watching. They wouldn't, after we got everyone out, the building wasn't officially evacuated, and so we're sitting there watching the news, and all of a sudden, the sky gets dark, and someone screams, "Holy S." And all we see are parts of bricks, body parts, coming towards the window. And it was just horrifying.
Jesus.
And,
body parts. That's wonderful. Yeah, I'm just, I'm still disgusted and stunned.
It was the most, we finally evacuated, and we got outside, it was pitch black. It looked like a total war zone. Everyone was covered in ash. I live in Staten Island. There was no way for me to get home. I had to walk through Brooklyn to the Verrazano Bridge because I refused to get on a train.
You know what a lot of people don't realize when you watch the videos and you see that rolling, what looks like an avalanche of white soot and debris going down the street? Inside that cloud,
it's glass.
It is not, but it is not white. It looks like, it'll be like a whiteout around me. It blocks out every bit of light. The only reason it looks white is because the sun's reflecting off of the top of it and the outside. But once you're inside, it is pitch black. There was a video clip of a guy with a camcorder that got engulfed in this cloud, and he said you could hear the audio. He goes, "I don't know if I'm blind right now." He goes, I can't see anything. He goes, I think I've been blinded. But the fact was, he'd just been in this cloud where no light came in. It was pitch black.
Yeah, exactly. And, I mean, just to feel, I mean, when we saw the plane crashes, our whole building, the building shook. We thought it was an explosion inside in our building. And it was just like, oh, my God, what's going on? When the first plane hit, we didn't realize it. We thought something, there was an explosion. There's legal paperwork hitting our windows. We could read the paperwork. We could see who these people were. We could see their addresses and names and paperwork going by our windows.
A lot of people didn't know that first explosion was a plane because a lot of people weren't really looking up there until they heard the explosion, and they didn't know what it was. But then when everyone's attention was grabbed and you're looking at the fireball and you saw that second plane go in, then everybody was like, uh-oh, this is a terrorist attack and the real deal. And that's when I think people really started trying to get out of those buildings. But yeah,
exactly. I mean,
the eyewitness accounts in the New York papers, I got to say it again, if you're in another city, try to pick up the New York papers because some of the reading is just unbelievable. They had a story of one guy, when the tower started collapsing, he started running. You just start running, you don't know which way you should run, right?
Right.
And now he's thinking, is this thing going to fall over like a tree? Do I have to try to outrun 110 stories?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He had no clue that it was collapsing within itself, and which was a problem right there. But he wasn't sure if the damn thing was falling over like a tree right toward him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just very scary, very sad. I mean, I just hope they just find out exactly who was and just annihilate all of them at this point. With what I see,
well, there's a lot of anger there. Yeah.
Just annihilate them. I mean, it was unnecessary. There are daycare centers in those buildings.
Yeah, what I'm hearing, though, is those were evacuated right away.
Yeah, they accounted for all the kids, thank God. But I'm going to go, guys.
Okay, Irene.
All right, Irene.
Have a good day.
Thanks for sharing with us today, all right?
All right.
There's some FAA regulations that have just started. Curbside check-in gone permanently. That's it. No more of the curbside check-in. All bags subject to multiple searches throughout the airport, which means you could just be walking around, going to the bar. Hey, let me see your bag. Let me search your bag. Only ticketed passengers allowed in the boarding area. Random multiple ID checks held throughout the airport at all times. Again, guy can just walk up to you. Let me see your ID. I have no problem with any of these. This is fine by me. I don't care. The only carry-on luggage, I applaud this. Small purse or briefcase, anything larger like a backpack, check it. I like that too. Why the heck? There's no reason you have to bring huge bags into carry on.
Oh, you'll have tons of people complaining at the airport.
Yeah, I'll put it here, check it. Get off the plane. No knives of any kind allowed past security. Includes small knives like Swiss Army knives. First class passengers, back to plastic knives. Remember? They'd give you the metal knife that you could cut your tough steak with.
Help secure,
Yeah.
We let our guard down. It's so funny, we talk about Star Wars and all that, and this was done with box cutters.
Box cutters.
Holy ass.
A couple more, because all luggage is going to be searched several times. FAA recommends you travel light when flying. The more luggage you have, it'll slow you down more. And the FAA recommends, because of the searches, you arrive 3 hours early before a regular domestic flight. It was 2 hours before an international flight. Now it's 3 hours before a domestic flight. So, we'll see how long people do this before it becomes a big inconvenience.
Yeah, let's see how much patience the American people really have. They say they have it.
Yeah.
Brian, what's up?
Hey guys.
Hey. You're on the radio, Brian.
Yes, I'm on the radio. I was in a building yesterday. I was on the 70th floor in the Tower 2, the second tower to have been hit. And I guess I'll just give you the, sort of the blow-by-blow of what I experienced.
Okay.
I got in early. I usually get in about 8:20, and I was reading, and about 8:45, I looked at the clock on my phone, and I saw it was, close to 8:45, and then, seconds later, I heard this tremendous, sort of booming noise, and my first thought, the first thought that I had was that somewhere down the hallway, like a series of we have these big file cabinets, on the floor, and I thought, it's totally irrational, but I just thought, well, it sounded like a series of file cabinets had fallen over.
Is that what it sounded like?
Well, I mean, that was, thinking back, that's not really what it sounded like, but I couldn't
First thing that popped in your head, right?
Yeah, I couldn't have imagined that it was an explosion in the other tower, so.
What floor were you on?
I was on the 70th floor.
70th?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if you said that earlier.
Yeah, and I was in the second tower, and,
all right.
So when that noise happened, I mean, you know, this silly thought that I was having, like, oh, you know, shoot, a file cabinet has fallen. And then I hear this guy down the hall from me who has a window office. I was in a cubicle. This guy who has a window office, I hear his voice. You know, and this will echo in my mind forever. He just starts, oh God, oh dear God. He's shouting this, you know, and it's the only you know, voice I hear. And that's when it hit me that, you know, something, you know, significant may have happened. And me and two other guys went to we look out the window, and we saw, you know, then we saw that the other tower was actually on fire, and that, you know, the sky was sort of filled with, you know, the woman earlier was describing that these papers flying through the air. It was like papers and smoke.
Wow.
And you know, this other guy, this guy Mike that I work with, just goes, you know, that building's on fire. It was just, he said it as though he was just like, you know, we're all kind of
like, no crap, we're looking at it.
Yeah, we were looking at it.
But you had to say it just to make it real.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
what did you do? Did you instantly go, I'm getting the hell out of here?
Well, then, no. See, then we all sort of, we didn't know what had happened. And then we all kind of, the people from other departments, we all kind of congregated in the hallway, the center hallway there near the elevator and the fire escape stairwell.
Yeah.
And, you know, we all sort of stood around not knowing what to do for about 5 minutes, I'd say, and sort of made sure that everyone we knew who we had seen that morning was accounted for. And then we at that point entered the stairwell, you know, and we just began walking. I mean, this narrow fire escape stairwell was just, you know, it's thousands of people.
Right. And
just opened the door. We opened the door, and instantly we just saw a cavalcade, you know, a cascade of human bodies.
And that's when you decided you were just getting out of there.
Yeah. And then
how long after you left the door did the building come down?
After I left when I got out in the ground.
Yeah.
I'd maybe 10 minutes.
10 minutes. And were there still a lot of people behind you, or a lot of people trying to get out?
I guess I assumed that there had to have been, because you know, you would look up and just see bodies, and look down and just see bodies in the stairwell. And I guess I was about the at one point an announcement came on. I guess it was about, we were close to the 59th or 55th floor. An announcement came on that said, you know, Port Authority came over the speaker and said, Building 2 is secure, you know.
Jeez, man. How many people did that kill?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. And I guess I can't really, you know, from their perspective, from their point of view, it was secure, because there was kind of a rumor that the plane had hit the building. No one knew for sure, but
yeah, that's just it. No one knew that it was a plane.
Yeah, and even when, you know, thinking that it was a plane, it was like, oh well, this has been just a terrible accident. So building, you know, this can't possibly be happening. You know, in 10 minutes. 10 minutes later, it's going to happen again.
You know something though, an inferno in a building right next to the one you're in. I would just have to take the day off. Maybe I'm just lazy and I would love to just have the day off, but an inferno in the building right next to mine, I'd leave the building. I don't care if I heard this building's secure. No, you know something?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't,
I'm leaving. It's time to go get a cup of coffee and some fresh air.
It was
Call
not,
me a
you know,
pussy.
I have to say it wasn't the most reassuring message. You know, Building 2 is secure, and so we got off on the 55th floor, because, you know, you can't get back through the doors, and on every floor. So we got off on, I think it was 55, and this guy sort of came running to us. I was with my friend Brian. We were walking down. A bunch of people were walking together, and this guy is like screaming, you know, I've just seen people jumping from the other building. And so, you know, at that time, you know, we just were like, okay, yeah, we're just going to continue on down.
Yeah.
And I guess I was on, like, I'd say the 45th floor when the, you know, the second plane hit.
When it hit your building.
Right.
And what was that? What did that feel like?
That was far more, you know, intense than hearing it from across the other building. I mean, there was this tremendous explosion.
And what was the sound? Like a twisting metal? Did you hear?
No, it was just more like a really deep sonic boom. And right as that happened, we were all in the fire escape stairwell, and you know, it was hot from the body heat and of all these thousands of people, and the building at that point just began rocking and swaying.
Oh, man, huh?
Like a ride at the carnival.
So you're trying to walk down these stairs, and are you actually going back and forth against the railing? And
oh yeah. And at that point, you know, as that happened, you know, it was not like I thought I was going to die, but it was more like I was just filled with I just became, I went into this, strange zone of consciousness where I was certain that I was just about to die.
Wow.
There was no question in my mind. And
that's a great feeling to have, huh?
No, I've had better feelings. On the scale of feelings, the whole broad spectrum. But at that time, and then I said to my friend Brian, I said, "Are we being bombed? What the hell?"
Yeah, exactly. Because now it's your building. And did you think you were being bombed? Did you think it was terrorists?
No, I didn't. Then
I would probably assume that whatever was burning in the other building had exploded and. Yeah, that kind of hit your building.
That's what we sort of figured. My friend Brian said, "No, I think that was a fuel tank from the plane that crashed into the other building." And which sounded perfectly reasonable. And
because the last thing you're thinking is people are aiming planes at your building.
That's really what it is. Is just no one. We're all in the fire escape, and of course, no one is going to assume that this is happening.
Right.
And so the building, it sort of kind of stopped. The motions, the rocking motion was pretty violent at first.
Were people just in a complete panic in the stairwell, running over each other?
Yeah, what was the
No. I have to say that it could very well have just become chaos, and people were crying and praying to God and just talking out loud, and there was a lot of that, but.
How about talk and pray outside? Shake your ass down those stairs.
But we could only move so quickly, and
that's because people are crying and praying. Move.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God, I'd be one of those guys pushing people out of the way. Let me out of here.
I know, but
I couldn't take that.
There was none of that, and I'm just amazed. We were, and at times it would become so congested that we couldn't go any further, and people above would start screaming, "Move, move!"
Yeah, I get pissed on the line when hey, the trailers are starting in the movie theater, and somebody's taking too long to get in. Yeah. That pisses me off. Never mind a life or death situation.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And so, and then we just started counting the floors. It's like 32.
Oh my God! And you don't know what's now. Did the building do anything else on your way down that led you to believe that it might actually collapse?
No. Right after it stopped swaying, I didn't feel much more secure, but it didn't. There was nothing that gave me any indication that it was going to collapse.
And now how'd you feel? Obviously, great when you got out.
Oh yeah.
But when you looked up, when you got out, what were you thinking? What were you seeing?
Well, when we exited, there's that Borders bookstore right there, and that's where we came up through. And we were all sort of just, going single, this big long line. And the emergency workers, the cops and the rescue workers were screaming, do not look up. Whatever you do not look up.
Yeah, because stuff is just coming down.
Yeah, oh yeah. So then I crossed
the head of the face.
Yeah, I crossed Church. I think it's Church Street. And I'm sort of walking up to Broadway, and then I turned around and what I saw, I saw both of the Twin Towers smoking and flaming.
Yeah.
And it looked like a special effect from a Die Hard movie. It looked like something that I was seeing. I wasn't even in my body as I was seeing.
No, not at all.
No one could believe their eyes.
So how close were you when the building collapsed?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Did you keep moving away from the building?
And then I did, because I met up with I sort of lost my friend in the shuffle. Then I met up with my other friend, this girl named Lauren, and I said, we were so dazed, and I said, "What do you want to do?" And she goes, "I just want to, I want to keep walking."
Yeah,
we started walking north, and we didn't stop. As we were walking up to Broadway, we were seeing blood in the streets, and this debris and things like that.
Now, when it finally did collapse, did you know it collapsed? Were you able to see it?
No. Well, when our building collapsed, our building was the first one to collapse. We didn't know because we're still walking north.
Mm-hmm.
And then we sort of stopped. We made some phone calls and called our parents, and then we kept going, and we stopped on Broadway and 10th Street.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this sort of what was once this magnificent view of the Arc at Washington Square Park, with the towers behind it, and we saw One World Trade, and we thought that our building was shrouded in smoke.
Yeah, but it was gone.
Right, we couldn't see it, and then we watched as that building collapsed.
And just I can't even imagine what you were thinking, knowing that minutes earlier you were in there.
Yeah, that's something that I mean, I'm not sure. I think I still may be in shock.
Yeah, I think so. You're like those people that are survivors of a plane crash or some kind of a cataclysmic event. You know, I'm sure you go through the mindset of what if.
Right.
You know, what if I didn't decide to leave, or what if I went upstairs? You know?
Yeah, well, if the plane hit, you know, right near our floor, the 70th floor, and I mean, time just became this. We didn't know it, but time became this crucial, precious factor.
Right.
I mean, if we had lingered, there was only 18 minutes between the crashes, and if
now you did wait for a little while before you did decide to leave.
Yeah, well, I'd say we sort of waited in the hallway for about 5 minutes or so.
What finally made you decide that was the time to get out, though? I'm sure you've been hashing that over your head.
Yeah, we were just standing there looking at one another, and some people were already crying, and it just sort of struck us all collectively like a series of light bulbs above our heads. Like, okay, now
let's just go.
Now we're going right now.
Well, thank God for you, man.
Yeah, and
that's an incredible story, Brian.
Yeah, so, and, you know, for a while, you know, as Lauren and I were walking, we were thinking, you know, I wonder how long it's going to take before they repair our offices.
Yeah, repair them.
Yeah, I mean, because
you can't imagine.
Right, and we're like, oh, well, I guess we'll be out of work for the next, you know, month or two, and then, you know, we just saw the tower collapse, and then I said, okay, but where's the other one? And this woman on the street said they're both gone.
Wow.
And, you know.
Now, Brian, goddamn, I forgot what I was going to ask him. It was, you're up there in the building. That's the question I wanted to ask him, but.
Does it have anything to do with the planes crashing in the Trade Center yesterday?
Yeah, something about that.
I know.
Jeez.
Did you sleep last night, Brian?
Hang up, I'm sure.
I did sleep last night. I was on the phone all day, and that's another thing that I want to talk about is at some point later in the day I went out to my friend's house in New Jersey. You know, after Lauren and I, we had walked from the World Trade Center to 65th and West End Avenue, which is where her dad's office was, and from there. I got a ride to New Jersey, and I checked my messages later, and it was surreal because, you know, I talked to my mom and she knew I was alive. She's the first person I called, but people were leaving messages on my machine as though I were dead.
Oh my God!
You know, there were people crying and you know, telling me that they loved me, and I'm listening to
Sure.
I'm listening to this, and you know, having seen the footage now. You know, I can understand that they probably thought there's no way that anyone could
get it. Have you talked to? That's what I meant to ask you. Have you talked to people that you work with?
Yeah, I've talked to some of the people. Pretty much, I think everyone in my department is accounted for.
Great.
And I talked to the guy that, you know, I walked down with those 70 flights, and you know, we both sort of talked about how, you know, when we heard that explosion, we felt the building. Shudder. We had the same thought. We didn't say it at the time, but, you know, talking about it later, we both thought that right then we were going to die. And it was good to talk to him, and I've talked to some other people, and I guess that's all you can do for a long time is just kind of talk about it and try and process it, because I'm still not sure that I really even understand the enormity.
Yeah.
Of you know, of what happened, and in my life and on the lives of everyone who was there and everyone in the city. And I just want to say also that, you know, the people who were escorting us out of the building, I mean, those people, I mean, they're heroes. They were just reacting in they were so effective and efficient, and you know, it was just, I can't praise them.
Yeah, like I said earlier, these are people that are doing things that go against every instinct you have for survival.
Yeah, exactly.
It's human, and they put themselves in that situation, and it's so upsetting that this scum of the earth can do stuff that just wipes their lives out like that. Somebody like you that was directly affected by this, how do you feel about the people that did it? And what kind of response would you like to see? I know it's early, like you said, you're still processing what happened to you, but how do you feel about this, and what would you like to see?
I mean, I have been thinking about that because I've been watching these politicians, you know, on television, and I really would like to see some kind of swift, you know, decisive action. And I've never really been someone like that. You know, it wasn't like during Desert Storm I had a yellow ribbon on my car antenna. I mean, you know, I'm a patriotic person, but it's never been like, But I do feel a kind of fervor about this. I mean, I'm incensed that, I mean, I just wonder what kind of psychotic, crazed person would just fly an airplane.
Is it more personal because you were affected directly, or is it something that you just want to see taken care of once and for all?
No, it's not really
like a personal vendetta. Like this son of a bitch almost killed me.
It's not so much a personal vendetta. I don't really feel like, I want, action taken just for me personally. It's just, I do want something done, but I also have to say that, I mean, I have been disheartened watching the president on television because I saw him in his two little, press speeches or press conferences, and it's so clear to me that he's looking down, reading notes.
Yeah, I want some
a prepared speech.
Yeah, and I just, genuine human pissed offedness.
Yeah, this is a time to speak from the heart.
Yeah,
right. Cue cards and your speech writers, talk to us.
Yes, that's exactly right. I've seen other people like Colin Powell and Giuliani. They've been great. They've been talking, but I don't get the sense. I mean, I know that George Bush, I'm sure he means, what he's saying, but just to see him read these lines has been somewhat, depressing.
I guess their mindset, too, is that the president has to remain like he's totally in control and unflappable.
Yes,
but, I want to see some genuine emotion from this guy. We're all pissed off. It's okay for you to be, too. You know what I mean? And let's deal with this and nip this in the bud.
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking as I've been watching him, and in one sense, I do feel like, he and these people, they have this under control. But I would like to hear something from his heart.
All right, Brian. Brian, what a story, man.
Brian is Steve Lynch's good friend here.
Really?
Steve Lynch is in the studio.
Yeah, both Kalamazoo boys.
It's a miracle. I gotta say, when we have a mutual friend who called me as soon as the first plane hit and said, Brian's in that building. So I went over to her place immediately. And I feel weird saying this in front of Brian, but with each subsequent incident, I was more and more sure that he was dead.
Oh, man.
I mean, how do you not? When the second plane hits, it's like, all right, he was in one of those buildings.
Yeah.
When the building comes down, you're like, there's a 50-50 chance, if that he's alive.
Right.
Then the second one comes down, and you're not hearing anything from anybody.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd hear.
Yeah, well, I heard. I mean, I did hear a lot of that. I mean, my friend in Chicago was watching it, and just as he was watching the towers burn, he was sort of rationalizing, he could be below this, or he could have gotten out already. But then just to watch on television as they both collapsed.
Thank God they lasted as long as they did.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a testament to those buildings that they didn't just immediately collapse from the damage of the plane and the explosion and all that jet fuel exploding, that they didn't instantly just pancake on themselves, that they stood there long enough that, you, Brian, and a lot of other people, thank God, were able to get out of there.
Yeah.
And keep it from even being a bigger loss of life.
But that's what it felt like when I was in the stairwell and the plane hit my building. It did feel like the building was just going to topple over.
Oh, man, I can't even imagine.
All right, Brian.
All right, well, thanks a lot, guys, and I'm still here, and a lot of people are still here, and we're just.
Do you drink, Brian?
I did last night, yeah.
I would recommend it. Dr. Anthony says drink.
Well, I'll try and tend to that prescription right now.
All right, Brian, man. Thanks so much.
A lot.
There are so many stories to get to, Anthony. I mean, we've been on an hour and 10 minutes straight. There's no reason to take a break. There's no reason to go to, local news.
No. Let's keep going.
One thing to add with the patience factor, people still have no patience. This morning on Houston Street, which is where all the trucks and everything is stored, which is, 20, 25 blocks away from the scene, there's still people arguing with the NYPD about trying to get into that area in Soho. So I'm walking around at like 9 o'clock this morning, and this dude is like, well, I need to get to work in Soho. And the cop is like, well, just show me your ID. He doesn't have it. And the cop's like, listen, I've been ordered by the President of the United States and the governor. I can't allow you down there. And the guy's giving him crap. And it's like, it's only 24 hours later, and this dude's trying to get down.
Let these guys do their jobs.
Crazy.
Lisa's really upset on line 9. Lisa.
Hi, Opie. How are you?
Hey, what's up? All right, what's wrong?
My parents were flying from Rome to Newark Airport, and they were supposed to land yesterday on Flight 41.
Okay.
And apparently their flight got rerouted, and they had to go back to Rome, according to Continental. But they won't give me any information on how to get in touch with my parents. And the phones have been up and down, and I don't know why they haven't gotten in touch with me if they can't. But I work in the New York area. I'd like to let them know that I'm okay, but Continental won't even tell me. They said, we put them up in a hotel, they're fine. Won't give me the hotel information, anything.
Now, this is a flight from Rome. They were coming here?
They were coming back. They were on vacation in Rome.
Yeah, I think only domestic flights that were coming in are going to be allowed to land, and they sent back all the international flights.
Well, I think some of them went to Canada.
But yeah, they turned them around. Well, they're fine. I
want to talk to them and tell them I'm fine,
Yeah, I don't blame you, but I'm sure they're fine. They're hanging out for a while.
Yeah.
Wow, you don't know how to get in touch with them. Well, it's just another one of those things. Well, at least, they're fine and you're fine, and eventually you two will hook up and do that huggy-kissy thing. So.
I just hope they're not in Rome all worried about me and my sister.
Yeah. Wow, that's...
I don't know what to say.
I know there's nothing to do but wait.
You guys don't have any powers over Continental, do you?
No.
Okay.
If something happens, we'll announce it on the radio. That's the best I can tell you. But
you know what you do? Hold a huge party at their house because they can't be pissed off at you when they get home.
Right.
Right?
Well, if someone from Continental knows and they can call you and tell you, and I'll keep listening.
Okay.
If anyone I understand all the people from Rome are put in one hotel. They just can't give me the name of the hotel, please.
All right.
Please.
If we find the name, we'll announce it, I guess.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right, Lisa.
Talk to you soon. Love you.
Hang in there.
All right, let's go to a New Jersey cop. Bob, what's up?
Hey, how's it going on, Ed?
Hey, what's happening?
I don't know. This is just so crazy, man.
Yeah. You been working late?
Actually just got out of work, but I've been on desk duty, and it's weird. Just you see the news, all the news footage, but at the same time, you see all the teletypes coming in for missing persons all over the state. For people who are over there. Place last seen, World Trade Center. And it's just, I can't describe it.
The numbers when they finally come out are going to be just ridiculous. Just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, it's time to do something.
Oh, absolutely.
It's time to do something huge, and we got to make a statement. Like I said, this can't be business as usual, and the way we've handled this in the past. Even though we have bombed in the past, and I don't really know what that does. That's why I was saying we need some kind of a low-yield tactical nuclear strike against Afghanistan, who has put this bin Laden clown up for years. And it would teach other countries that if they harbor these people and support them, that, oh my God, we might get nuked. Who's going to take the next guy if they think that might happen? It's got to be such a huge response that no one would want to support these people.
Agreed.
All right, Bob, thank you.
All right, take care, guys.
Get this, Palestinian President Yasser Arafat donated blood Wednesday for victims of the terror attacks in New York and Washington. Yasser, don't worry about donating blood. We'll take enough of yours when the time comes. How's he donating blood? That is an effort to fend off an attack that he knows is imminent. Clown.
John from the New York City Fire Department. John.
How you doing, guys?
No answer to that.
Hello?
Yeah, what's up, John?
How you doing?
Yeah. What do you got?
I just want to say I'm a New York City fireman. I was there yesterday, and it was the worst thing I ever saw. The company that just got wiped out. It's just terrible, and you talk about retaliation and whatnot. I just want people out there to remember there's no second guess in the military. And President Bush, because people will, when he does what he has to do, people will second guess him.
No, like everyone is saying, and I believe we got to stand behind him, and as a nation, stand behind his decision and Congress's decision. But I just would like to see a little more human emotion and anger out of some of these politicians. The way we're all feeling, I know they feel the same way. I don't want them blurting out speeches that they hope make the history books in 50 years.
You're right.
I want real emotion.
Some of the other world leaders are giving really, moving sentiments on TV.
Right.
BBC, Tony Blair talking about how this wasn't an American problem.
Haven't they always been great with those
fantastic,
speeches?
Fantastic,
yeah.
It really moved you,
Right from Winston Churchill. Those were speeches.
Right.
And when it seems like they're trying a little too hard to make the history books, it kind of upsets me. I would rather just have basic human emotion in this situation and let us know how you feel and what we're going to do about it. And not in some pseudo-eloquent way, in plain English. Let us know that in due time we will kick some major ass because of this.
No, you guys are right. You're 100% right about that. But my worry is that in a couple of years, 3-4 years, people forget, and then when the military does their thing, and every once in a while, you always get the people second guessing them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, maybe they got carried away. That isn't right. Well, we have to protect our country. That's number one. We could argue about little things all we want amongst each other.
Yeah.
But we have to keep our country safe. And what I saw yesterday, I mean, it's insane that this went on, and we can't ever let that happen again.
We never thought anything like this would happen, and it did. And you know something? You could sit around and think maybe stuff like biological warfare will never happen. We never thought that would, I hear about it. But that's that science fiction stuff. That only happens in movies and books and stuff. But you know something? If we don't deal with this now hard, that is a possibility that we're going to have to deal with. And to tell you the truth, I sure don't want to deal with the likes of stuff like that.
No.
Because that's a lot worse than what we even saw yesterday.
I didn't want to get into that because a lot of people, like the fire department, they train on that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And what can really be done, I don't think the average person really has any idea what could really happen.
Well, again, we like to think that things are in place to protect us from stuff like that. But the truth of the matter is, we're very vulnerable, and we have to respond to this in a way that will really make these countries think twice about helping these people out.
You're 100% right, and we will respond. I know that.
And we have to get harder and tighter with our security in this country without worrying about pissing special interest groups off and ethnic groups. We have to understand if Arab people are carrying out terrorist acts like this, we cannot be afraid to offend Arab groups when we give them a little more scrutiny when they're learning how to fly airplanes in Florida and when they're coming across the country's borders from Canada and whatnot. We can't worry about an Arab group getting pissed off that we're holding them under a closer magnifying glass.
You're 100% right once again.
It's our asses, man.
Of course. Like I said, we have to protect our country first. And don't be, when you inconvenience the airport 4 or 5 years from now, don't complain.
Right.
I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, people have short memories. I think that's one of the problems. And I'm not worried about now because I know President Bush is going to do the right thing. I have confidence in him.
I have no doubt about it.
But I'm worried about 4 or 5 years from now when people start to forget and these young kids growing up and we got out of hand. You don't have to worry about that. They really have no idea what's going on. And then something like you let your guard down because the military's under scrutiny or they're downsizing the military, and then something like this happens again.
Yeah, how many, there's AWACS and fighter planes above a lot of major cities today. And why shouldn't that be regular operations?
Right.
Why shouldn't that be standard operating procedure in this day and age when we're not flying all those aircraft over monitoring the Soviet Union anymore? Why can't we use that to protect our own asses? How come this isn't going on? How come in the past 8 years so many military bases have closed and that money has gone on to social programs when we can't even protect our own asses?
The money goes to save a bird somewhere.
Yeah, or it's
is that a joke? I mean, it's a joke. I mean, I think this is a big reality check, and I just don't think I'll never forget it. I hope no one else ever forgets it. A little inconvenience. So what? So what? The military stops you. If I was from an Arab country and I was an American, I wouldn't care. I would understand.
Yeah.
Search me. Go ahead.
Right.
I mean, how can anyone object to that? Anyone that anyone that's a decent person wouldn't object to that.
We can't bow under. It's too many politicians worrying about what these special interest groups and ethnic groups that get together. They worry too much about what they're going to say. If you're not doing anything, you won't have a problem. Don't worry about it. But we have to start watching our own asses here.
No, but
they're doing it right under our nose in Boston.
It's unbelievable. It's
Florida.
Unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. But I hope, like I said, and I think Bush will do a great job, and I know Giuliani's doing a great job, and all the brothers out there, I tell you, just let me say this: there's a lot of brave men that work for the city. What I saw yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been a fireman for 6 years, but you know, I always knew it, and I've been in situations with guys, and I always get impressed. But yesterday, I was, you know, even more impressed. The bravery that these guys show. They're really heroes, every one of them.
Yeah.
And the cops too, and everyone else. Even there was some civilians down there that were putting themselves in harm's way. I mean, volunteers, and it was really a sight. I was really amazed the bravery that people showed.
All right, John.
All right.
Thank you for sharing today.
All right, thank you guys.
All right, man.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, there's just nothing you could say about the emergency workers, police, fire department. It's not, you can't put it into words. These are people that have done things over the past couple of days that you wouldn't even dream of doing. I'd be under my bed cowering. And these people are just putting themselves right in the line of danger, and it's amazing.
Some of the people of just the workers down there just sitting because there's nothing they can do at this point, and you can just see the frustration on their face. They want to do something so bad, and there's nothing they can do.
Yeah,
they're just waiting for the next hopefully a victim, a survivor to be pulled from the rubble. Just sitting around hoping.
We just came back from a few of the different volunteer checkpoints and blood checkpoints, and we're just packed with people. You can, turning people away right now, saying, come back tomorrow morning.
They've got enough. Unbelievable.
Let's go to Lisa from PA. Lisa!
Hi.
Hey, Lisa.
How you guys doing?
Good.
I know this is a far cry from what has happened the past day, but my brother was on the USS Cole.
No, you know something? There's another terrorist attack. It's not any more or less important. Believe me.
The media, and especially the president, actually gave almost the exact same speech as they did last night on, we're going to, make no... We're going to get these people. We're going to get them, and
bring them to justice.
Yeah, and they forgot that short-term memory that you guys been talking about.
See, this is
we're going to bring them to justice.
The USS Cole was hit by a raft full of explosives, pretty much, is what it amounted to. A small boat. They were tied up in Yemen, which is a hostile country. We've used their ports before to get fuel and whatnot. God only knows why, but for some reason, it's a hostile port. It is known to harbor terrorists, and for some reason, for some political reasons, we were not allowed to have our guys on the guns on the deck of that ship in a hostile port because we didn't want...
surrounding the port.
Right.
There was no security.
Because we didn't want to upset the government by having our ship armed in their port. Well, F you!
Exactly. You guys were mentioning about, we need to get a bit more pissed. Well,
right.
I've been pissed, and I know this is, like I said, a far cry, but my family and we've all been pissed, and we just...
Hey, Lisa, what happened to your brother?
Physically, now?
Yeah.
He wasn't hurt, but he was 18 minutes from the blast. He was in Main 1 18 minutes prior to the blast. He left Main 1 and left his friend to take his shift for him, his best friend. And Mark Nieto was killed. My brother has a lot of mental issues. He's scared.
And
very scared.
And what did we do to respond to that?
Nothing.
What did we do? Nothing. Why?
I just found out some information on this the other day. Yemenis officials have arrested and imprisoned 6 men for this. They say were responsible and are planning to execute them.
Oh, yeah?
Whatever time. And, nobody's heard anything. Nobody gives us any information. We have to find this information on our own. The media forgot about this very, very soon after all this went down. The only people that covered it were, far-right extreme internet sites.
How about we don't worry about stepping on people's toes? And when our ships are in hostile waters, we're allowed to defend ourselves with more than... I heard all the security that ship had was a couple of guys on deck with sidearms that had to remain unloaded.
Yep.
And that's all with a clip. They had a clip in one pocket and their sidearm in their holster, and that's the only defense that ship had because we were afraid of pissing off the people of Yemen. Well, screw you. I'm sick of us having to tiptoe around the world. It's time we step on toes and we tell the people if they're pissed off, screw you, this is our asses we're trying to save.
Just like Roosevelt said, just walk softly but carry a big freaking
effing stick. Right.
Don't let people fool you. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome.
All right, thanks.
Thanks.
Bye.
See, we forgot about the coal. All of a sudden, that was nothing. And like she said, the same speech. Come on, let's do something.
Bob, what's up?
What's going on, man?
We're in Boston. What's up, Bob?
I'm up in Boston area.
Yeah.
I just got to give you guys a big shout out for covering this thing. You're covering it better than any of the local stations up here.
Unfortunately, we're right in the middle of it.
Yeah, it's as real as it get, Bob, because 3 miles to my right is just one of the biggest disasters you'll ever see.
Absolutely, but we just appreciate it, because there's a big cloud of responsibility hanging over this area because it all started out of Boston. We all appreciate you guys, staying on the air all day yesterday like you did, keeping us up to date.
Well, selfish reasons, it keeps our mind off of it. Even though we're talking about it, it gives us a place to all vent, you know what I mean? Not just us, but a lot of the people, they really need to just yell and be pissed off about this to more than just friends or coworkers. And this is your forum too.
Yeah, I mean, my whole thing, I don't know how you guys felt about the speeches with the president, but
I thought it was pretty lame.
Yeah, I wanted him to
not enough. I just needed more. I just needed more personally, and I think I speak for everyone. Obviously, you want someone with emotion that's going to speak from the heart and not worry about what's on the cue cards or worry about how his speech is going to be perceived that the speechwriters wrote for him. It looked like Carson Daly introing a video, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, he's sitting watching was like a machine, man. I wanted him to get on there and say, all right, you want the attention of a world power? You want to see what we can do? Here you go, goddammit.
Right.
Something.
That's what I want to hear. I mean, I want to hear something. I don't want to hear, you guys are going to get it someday.
Look
together, rah-rah.
Look in the camera. Put your finger in there. Be pissed off and let them know, in your own words and with your own emotions, how you feel and what you're going to do to respond to this. Without specifics, obviously. I'm not stupid. But just really be honest and pissed about it.
Right,
not a speechwriter's words.
Well, I wanted to just tell you guys that we really appreciate everything you're doing. And just say a prayer for everyone that's being affected by this tragedy.
All right, Bob. Thank you.
All right, guys.
Bob from Boston.
Put more people there at Logan, you bastards. Jesus. Someone's head's gonna roll over there, I bet you. They're saying at Logan that there was no security lapse, there was nothing. And it might be hard to figure that stuff out, how they were getting the knives on the planes and whatnot. But you had a couple planes come out of there that did a lot of damage, and somebody's heads are gonna roll up there. Mark my words.
Your brother-in-law's on the line. Johnny Race.
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing?
What's happening, man?
Usually we talk about Kiss with Johnny Race.
Yeah.
A little different
I
today.
just want to get my 2 cents in. My brother, Don Race, he's in the emergency service unit, Truck 9 out of Queens.
Right.
And he went in yesterday in the afternoon, but he was bringing the doctors, like Shea Stadium and whatnot. And then he was in there about 8 o'clock last night, and he worked all the way through the night. And he's one of the few guys that helped pull out the Port Authority police.
Oh, yeah.
And Kevin Mill, the bartender at Wickers, he's a steel worker during the day. He was there with his whole crew, and the guy was just crying on the phone, calling his best friends, pulling out dead bodies.
Yeah, they've just seen some horrible stuff, huh?
It's just, hey, it's a shame that we all got to pull together for something like this. We should be like this all the time.
Yeah, well, you're right. It's unfortunate that it takes stuff like this to keep us from yelling at people in the crosswalk when that light turns green in front of me. And I was being a little nicer, although there wasn't that much traffic or anything. But normally, if somebody tries to cross that street when the light's green, I'm on that horn. I got the window down. I'm screaming, "You mother effer!" But today, yesterday, it just didn't seem all that important, and I can only hope for the time where I can get pissed off at stuff like that again.
Hey, man, the harmonies, it should stay with us all the time, man. We gotta look out for our own, that's it.
You got it right.
All right, man, rock and roll.
All right,
You're doing a great job, guys.
All right, Johnny. Thanks, John.
Very good.
Rock and roll Johnny Race.
When can we get back to the days where Johnny Race is at the Vanderbilt watching his friend get tinkled upon by a chick? When can we get back to normal?
I think our listeners will let us know that.
Yes, they will.
Yeah. Kelly, what's it's funny you mention that because radio stations in New York already playing music and
they had their one day of
trying to come up with cute songs to play, and
it's kind of maybe you just run out of things to say. Maybe that's it. I don't think it's a huge decision to then just throw music on.
I'm pissed off at someone that we work someone in our own company.
Yeah.
Had the nerve to ask Ken Stevens, our general manager, when all this went down yesterday. So, what are Opie and Anthony going to do on their show today? What do you think? And the paper's the same thing. They're all surprised because we blew off our regular show to go with this. Just completely surprised. Oh yeah, we're going to do Lesbian for Day and all that fun stuff. Yesterday and today, of course.
Yeah, well, I guess the thing, you can't totally fault them. I mean, when they tune in on a daily basis, it is usually a little out of control. But what we always say is it's just honesty and it's who we are. And when we're having fun, we're having a lot of fun. And when we're not having fun and we're joined together with a bunch of people that are in turmoil right now, we're gonna sit down and talk about that. And that's what we do. It doesn't always have to be a joke. And this is just how we're feeling, and we're sharing the time with other people that have been through this and listening to how they're feeling.
The show has always been about just going with the flow, you know?
Yep.
We're going with the flow. Kelly, what's up?
Hey, hi guys.
Hey.
I just want to tell you I love your show. And I have to tell you, my uncle was in one of the trade centers yesterday.
Yeah.
He was on the 37th floor. Luckily he got out. We didn't find out until 9 o'clock. No one knew if he was dead or alive.
Yeah, a lot of people really just didn't know for quite a while.
Yeah, he says that I don't know, we were in the first or second tower, but he said that he felt the building shake, like an earthquake.
Mm-hmm.
And they all ran to the elevators, and they couldn't get in because it was smoke filled. So they had to walk down the stairs and get out. And everybody was telling him to run. And he almost orphaned, I guess, 2 children yesterday because his wife died of cancer 2 months ago.
Oh, man. Oof.
Yeah, they're 19 and 14.
It's a tough old world, man.
All right, Kelly, thank you.
Thank you.
Trying to get as many people on as possible today because everyone just needs to vent. Chris, what's up?
Hey, man, what's going on, OA?
Hey.
You guys are handling this thing awesome.
Yeah, well, we
I'm
don't know what else to do.
Yeah, you guys are handling it like true pros.
Thanks, man.
But I was down. I'm an EMT.
Yeah.
And I was down when everything happened yesterday. Psycho Mark was down there.
Psycho Mark, for a lot of the cities that don't know, a friend of the show, has done a lot of great stuff for our show.
He was like a champ down there. It's just good to see somebody like him out. And
he works for Fox.
Yeah, here's another guy, though, that is known for being an effing lunatic. We've had this guy on the air for quite a while. He got fired from our show for various sexual...
You could say it. He was there when a couple had anal on the boss's couch.
On the boss's couch in the office, and he was told
not to do it, and he pretty much said F you to our another boss and had the couple do it. But
yeah, he got fired, but everyone knows him as just being a psychopath. He goes out to appearances, and he's always screaming and yelling and saying the wrong stuff. He's just a nut. Well, here he is yesterday on Fox News, the on-the-spot reporter. You would think he was Stone Phillips or something.
Everyone was interviewing him because he was.
Yeah.
I mean, Ben could tell the stories. We'll get Ben on in a second. And I have to say it again. I said it yesterday. I'm looking at people interview Psycho Mark because he was an eyewitness to this whole damn thing. Because where he lives is right there.
His window overlooks the center. And as a matter of fact, Fox News used his apartment as their camera vantage point. They had a camera in his apartment out his window. So when he heard that first explosion, went to the window, he watched and saw everything else that happened.
That's how close he is. And I'm watching him on TV last night or yesterday, and it just didn't look like him. Like, is that Psycho Mark? I had to look like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Like, holy ass, it's Psycho Mark, as serious could be. His whole face was different. He didn't have a smirk.
Talk to your doctor about Stanker 2 voice.
Yeah, he didn't have a smirk. He was as serious as I've ever seen anyone in my life.
Yeah, you just expect him to go, grab the 50 cal, get those ragheads,
Yeah, the guy's, the guy's all about goofing and just being an idiot.
But he was the consummate professional.
Ben, who knows Psycho Mark really well, you should tell some of the stories that Seriously, Psycho Mark, I think he's going to call the show because he was right there.
He was doing such a good job. I mean,
what was he doing, Chris?
He was just, the fact that he was he was so calm, so composed, trying, even when people were like taking off.
And one thing we have learned about Psycho Mark on this show, in a different context, of course, is that he does a good job of describing what's going on. He does a great job of looking at something and then being able to translate it to people that might not be able to see it and translate what had happened prior. He's very good at that.
He is,
but he's an effing lunatic, and I don't care what I saw on the news yesterday, he's still a nutcase.
Well, it was like people were like running by, and they're like, wait a minute, that's Psycho Mark.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on for a second. Hey.
I think a lot of people were like, oh my God, they got Psycho Mark. What's he going to do? Hold up a wow or something? No. No, he was a professional.
When I was seeing him on TV, I'm praying.
I know, don't do anything.
Mark, we do not need the publicity.
You
trust me. Just do not do it. And obviously he didn't. But Ben said while we were having coffee today that, whatever. But you should tell some of the stuff. I don't know what you want to say on the air.
And Mark is, he's a nut, but he's a professional. He woke up yesterday. He's got a perfect view of the Trade Center, and he looks up. He heard the crash, and he watched the entire thing from his windows. Watched people just jumping like crazy. He said easily 150 people. He saw a couple just holding each other that were jumping out the windows. He said another guy was up at the top and he had like a flag or a towel or something. He was trying to get out, and then all of a sudden you see this big explosion. The dude he said he just went flying way out. And Mark, Mark watched the whole thing, and the problem with Mark is we know he's an idiot, and for his family and stuff. No one could get a hold of him. We figured he probably went running down there. Ooh, I'll get a picture.
I'm going inside.
I'll go inside. I'll die this way. And get a hold of him. But he told me that, he's picked up stuff. He's picked up checks on the ground. He's picked up pictures of little kids.
And I'm looking forward to picking up chicks because now I'm respectable. I could get a whole new class of chicks.
He told me, he said that there was a Suburban down there that was crashed up like a Matchbox toy car. He said it was the craziest thing he's ever seen. But it's not even Mark, being the idiot that he is, and he doesn't tell his family or anything. We're all leaving messages for him. He finally changes his voicemail message, and it's a totally different sounding Mark going, I'm okay, I'm fine. It's not the crazy, wow, let's go crazy Mark. It's the very calm Mark. So he's he's freaked. He's a little freaked, but he saw the whole thing from his 43rd floor apartment.
And Fox News right there in his apartment.
Yeah, right. And then, it's funny, I'm watching Fox this morning, and there's a shot from yesterday, and it's completely Mark's
view from his apartment, right?
And Mark also, his windows, he's up on the 43rd floor. They're not supposed to open, but of course Mark, broke the thing, so they opened. So they had the camera right out of his window, and an unbelievable shot.
All right. Hey, thank you, Chris.
Hey, no problem. I just thought you guys should know.
All right, we got to go to Psycho Mark's brother Tim, who's up in Boston, I believe. Tim, what's up?
What's going on?
Hey.
Yeah, we did have the family was biting our fingernails, obviously, because he didn't take the call in to his family. When I see his building exploding around on him, you can see his actual building from the cameras.
Wow.
Crashing.
And he doesn't call anything?
Well, that's just typical Psycho Mark. I am going to give him a beat when I see him the next time, because, my mother was like bawling her eyes out. My mother's actually in Paris right now. She's bawling her eyes out. I'm calling down there. But you said you saw him on TV. You called Ben. Ben called me. His boss had finally called me. But it was I didn't talk to him until about 3. But that's typical, obviously. But yeah, he told me, I was like, so what happened? He was like, I was like getting dressed and heard the big explosion. He goes, you look right out his window and you feel like you can touch the Twin Towers. He just said that it was just, the debris and people falling out the window and people jumping, holding hands, jumping, stuff like that. So that's pretty tough for anybody to see, I would assume.
Yeah. Yeah.
He said there's couples jumped out the window, and he just said it was just carnage and just craziness, mayhem, I talked to him last night, and I talked to him again this morning, and he just said, you can tell that it's just a lot. He's had an hour's sleep, and it's been a lot to take in, to say the sure, I was listening to Keep the Cop, and those guys are kind of like not trained to deal with this, but, they're in that profession. But, you get my brother who's on the weed, you know, having a good time, and he sees people jumping out windows.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something to take. It's a little harder, I think.
All right. Hey, thank you, Tim.
Yep.
This is starting to suck again. Pedro.
Yeah, how's it going, guys?
What's up, Pedro?
I'm just exhausted, guys. Just really tired.
You've been on the scene?
Yeah, it's just nothing. Just put it to you this way, guys. Kuwait did not match this.
Yeah. You were over there, huh?
Yeah.
Now you're an EMT. What have you done? What have you seen?
I'm an EMT. I'm a military police officer.
Oh.
We were setting up our checkpoints and helping with moving rubble and debris and trying to see what we could find. Had to bring down some working dogs, trying to find some people, but there's just not a whole lot you can do.
Yeah, that's what they've said. It's like they haven't found many survivors. Yeah.
It's just really hard, you know. You got dust, concrete dust, and insulation that's about 6 inches thick in places, and you got rubble that's five stories tall. It's just so hard to look at.
Yeah. I don't know how the hell they're gonna clear that out. It's just a massive undertaking. You see these huge bulldozers down there trying to clear it out, and the bucket load is just a drop in the bucket to the amount of rubble that's down there. And you know they're not going to just be able to rush in there and clear it out because they got to recover either bodies or hopefully survivors. But it's just going to take quite a while to clean that up.
Yeah, right now the Army Corps of Engineers around, they're trying to show up what they can, as best they can, to make it safe for people to get in there and work. And it's just all about trying to get the situation as safe as possible for us to get in there and help clear it out.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be some time before anybody's able to go to work down there in that area.
Yeah, it's just really hard, you know, looking at that skyline and missing those 3 buildings it's really weird. It's just so hard to look at.
Whoever's sending the links to like pictures of body parts, no thank you. I'm not opening any more links today. Oh, you opened a link? Don't need to see what I just saw.
I'm sitting up for that today.
All right, Pedro, thank you.
Yeah, sorry to bum you guys out.
No.
You guys were.
Sorry to bum us out.
No, we're no. Thanks, Pedro.
Yeah, those docs.
All right.
Is that West Coast Dave sending that? Dave sent that? Ass. Don't send that. That's that from rotten.com or something.
No. Well, to his defense, he didn't send that actual link. I just happened to get in a different part of the site and clicked on something, but he actually didn't send what Opie saw.
Well, I'm not even looking.
So that you don't want to. Matt, what's up?
What's up, guys?
Hey.
It's really good to hear some frustration on the air. It gets a little disheartening. You feel like you're getting nowhere when you listen to the politicians talk.
They're all jockeying for position. Not all. I mean, I'm not speaking for the population, but, I really want to hear there's going to be blood flowing on some third world country's gutters here real soon. I mean, I support them, just like we're supposed to, but the thing is, I'm not feeling it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit there in a phony way and say, and start waving the flag because they tell me to, or sit there and listen to these read speeches that a speechwriter wrote. I want some real feeling to come out and some real anger.
Well, so far, the only real feelings that I've heard so far come from this show. I have a friend of mine who was actually down in the area, and there's no body parts involved, but I have a bunch of about 16 pictures I'll send you guys. It's some pretty intense things, but there's no gore involved, just the actual process and of the building being struck, and it's all photos that were taken amateur. But
I've seen enough pictures.
I've seen it all.
I'm burnt out on looking at video clips and pictures. I want to turn the TV on and watch the Flintstones.
You can find it.
I'm so done with watching any more clips and videos and pictures. It's just awful.
Well, when we're going to liven things up, I came down.
I'm going to cut you off because
you got it.
We might have info on that flight from Rome. So there was a lady that called earlier. I think her name was Lisa, trying to figure out what hotel her parents are in Rome. Hello? Lisa.
Hello. Hi, how are you?
Are you legit or what? Because this is not a day
Actually, I'm legit. Yeah, my parents are on the same flight. I have the hotel and the phone number.
As this other girl, Lisa?
This is another girl named Lisa whose parents are on the same flight.
Okay, and you're positive about that?
I'm positive. I have the hotel. What happened was they were supposed to go to Canada, and they rerouted the flight back to Rome.
Right.
And the flight didn't land until like 11 o'clock Rome time, which was like 7 o'clock Pennsylvania time yesterday.
Okay, so what do you got? Because, it's going to be almost impossible for that other Lisa to get through, so you might as well put the info in the air.
Okay, the actual address, the actual phone number to the hotel.
Just give the hotel.
The hotel?
Yeah, what hotel
Okay,
are you staying at?
I don't know how to say it.
Spell it?
R-G-I-S-E.
R-G...
E-R-G.
E-R-E?
E-R-G.
Start over.
I-S-E.
Hold on. Start over. Lisa, start over, seriously.
Okay, do you want the phone number to the hotel?
Well, start over with the name of the hotel. Do it slowly, one letter at a time.
E is in Eric.
E is Eric, all right.
Robert.
E-R.
G is in Jeffrey.
G.
I. Is in Frank.
F.
E is in Eric.
E. All right.
And this is in Rome.
It's
they went back to Rome.
Wow, that's wacky. Okay. In Rome.
Okay, and
Are we allowed to give out the phone number?
Yeah, we give out the phone number. And people, it would be really stupid.
To talk to the guy there.
It would be real stupid to call Rome as a goof. So just if this girl Lisa, the other Lisa's listening, here's the number. Try giving it a call. And people, let her make the call. Don't tie up the number with your shenanigans.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, it's the international number. It's 011 39 06 66 440.
Okay.
And that'll put them directly into the hotel.
Right on. All right, and if Lisa didn't get that, if she could keep trying to call, we'll have that info here for her if she finally does get through.
All right, perfect. Somebody just called me and told me that they thought I was on the air.
Okay.
Actually, it was somebody else named Lisa.
Yeah. Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, man.
Bye.
Let's go to Joe. Where'd I go? Shoot.
You went nowhere.
All right, hold on. Let's go to Joe in Boston.
Hello?
Hey, Joe, what's up?
Hey, guys. I've been oh, man, this is crazy stuff. I lived about 20 minutes off the bridge. I used to live in Jersey.
Okay.
All right, well, I do still live in Jersey. I'm a college student, right? Now I go to Boston College, right? I had a choice of going either to NYU or to BC. Like, right at the end, I was like, you know what? I love Boston. I got to come up here because I just love this place. Now, NYU is, a couple blocks away from the World Trade Center?
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Let's get to the point.
All right. No, the thing is, man, it's I'm in Boston, and I live 20 minutes away from where the FBI agents keep going in. Over the past couple nights, I've been here, or the last night.
You have nothing.
No, man, hold on. No, there's been bomb threats.
You're 20 minutes away from something that's going on in Boston. There are people right outside the Westin Hotel. So,
I know.
So what do you have today?
Dude, man, it's just crazy with all this bomb stuff.
It's
and
crazy.
I'm hearing, fire trucks and police going out all crazy over here, man.
Crazy?
It's pretty insane, man.
Maybe you...
All right, man.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Hey.
Thank you, Joe. There he goes.
We got a quick clip of Colin Powell.
We have to still try to return life to a sense of normalcy. We cannot be a people who are afraid to live. We cannot be a people who will move away from a relatively open society. We cannot be a people who walk around terrified. We're Americans. We don't walk around terrified.
No, I kind of get terrified walking around.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
It's kind of terrifying.
Here's another clip from Colin.
Hearts go out to all the victims and to their families. It is a tragedy, but as the President has made clear, it is a tragedy that we are strong enough to overcome. Our spirits will not be broken. The resilience of this society will not be broken. We will find out who is responsible for this, and they will pay for it.
Okay, I like that. But, it's the resilient part. We know we're resilient. We know that life will go on and the city will get back to some normalcy. I want to hear about the ass-kicking part.
Let's hear from Newt.
When you go to war, you have a whole new set of rules. You can blockade, you can use force, and you communicate to other governments, such as Sudan and Afghanistan, that the United States is now serious, that killing our men, women, and children, killing people in our cities, will never be accepted, and you're either with us against the terrorist, or you're with the terrorist against us, but there will be no neutrals.
All right. Okay, Newt. At least he's talking about the issue of the terrorists. I don't want to hear about how resilient we are. We know.
More people died yesterday, more civilians died yesterday than on any day in American history. It is clear that forces have declared war against the United States. What is not yet clear is whether we're prepared to step up to that, declare war, and use the elements of war, the military, the intelligence community, or whether we're going to try to deal with this as a criminal justice problem.
No. Let me tell you something. If Bin Laden sent his men over here, right, and they walked into a deli and stole a bag of chips, that's a criminal justice problem. You know, they stole something. This is not a criminal justice problem. This does not see courtrooms. This sees the nose cones of bombs.
This is a war. Different rules.
This was a systematic act of war, and it is very, very important that we move in the direction of making this a matter of war, a matter of national security policy, not a criminal justice system matter. And I think that in that sense, my hope is that this morning the President will be indicating that he will be coming to the Congress soon and that he'll be asking the Congress for a declaration of war.
Very good. How many years did we have to sit and wait while the Pan Am Lockerbie debacle sat with the suspected bombers trying to be extradited? Ooh, watch out, he's sending over a subpoena. You know, that's crap, and I really don't want to sit through more of that.
You would declare war against the terrorist organizations and any governments which support, sustain, or protect those terrorist organizations.
Yep. That's it.
You can hear the emotion in his voice. I like this.
You got a country that backs these people, supports them, gone.
The declaration would be against bin Laden and any terrorist who supported him, and the declaration would be against any state which harbored or protected bin Laden after the United States demanded that they were turned over. I think that clearly Afghanistan is a potential target, Sudan is a potential target. I don't know beyond that, but it's increasingly clear, as you just reported, that we are going to be able to track down the evidence of who was involved.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't, you know, you talk about, we got to find out who's responsible. We know who's responsible for acts of terrorism. Maybe, is it this act of terrorism? Probably. But if it's not, it doesn't matter. It's time, like I said yesterday, Michael Corleone, the end of The Godfather, remember that? Time to take care of all the family business. Time to pay back for the embassy bombings, the barracks bombings. Time to take care of the coal bombing. And this bombing, to tie up all the loose ends, all the stuff we neglected to do for the past few years. Now's the time. So it doesn't matter if they're directly responsible for this act. They did other stuff. So anyone that harbored bin Laden, any other terrorists that have done things like this, held responsible and will be dealt with.
All right, let's go to Donna. Donna, what's up?
Hey, hi, guys.
Calling from PA. What's up?
Yeah, I just wanted to say how easily it is to get box cutters on the airlines. Because I've done it actually several times, like unintentionally.
Why are you bringing box cutters onto a plane?
Well, because...
Why do people have box cutters? How many boxes are people opening up?
No, I did it unintentionally because I work for a company that when we go to a convention, we actually ship the box cutters out in one case to open up all the other cartons that we have to display our product. And after we're done with, everybody has a box cutter, and I just sometimes throw it in my purse, forget about it totally, and carry a pretty big purse when I travel.
Yeah.
And
did anyone ever look in your purse after going through the X-ray machine and
no, never.
To go, what's that? Maybe I should
Have you seen these people that stand in front of these effing X-ray machines? Where the hell do they get their job? I don't know what they're looking at. And again, it's the whole perception. We'd like to believe that they are looking at that screen and they know what to look for. But you know something? Most of them look like they just stepped out of those goddamn traffic uniforms, handed tickets out on the street, and stepped in front of these friggin' X-ray machines.
Well, that's it. I've done it unintentionally. I didn't know it, or I would have taken it out, but I put it in there. I switched purses to a smaller purse when I'm going around at the convention. switch back over to the big purse, forget all about this box cutter I had put in there.
See?
Get home.
Someone should be looking for this.
I get home, I start to clean out my purse of all the stuff of travel, and I look, and there's a box cutter in there, and I'm like, oh, my God. And
they don't know what the hell they're looking at. They put things through the X-ray machine. And you know another thing? If you walk through that machine and it beeps, and you empty your pockets and put it in the little basket, and walk through and it don't beep anymore, and then take the stuff out of the basket, do you know what you could put inside a cell phone or other things that they just hand right back to you again?
I know.
It's ridiculous.
And my boss has even done it, and today our salespeople were in, and they said, one of them said, you know, I carry a box cutter all the time in my briefcase. He said just, you know, because he's out on the road a lot, and, you know, he said he's getting ready to fly back, and he said, I'm going to have to take it out now.
Perceived security. It's scary how easy it was.
Yeah.
It just boggles the mind. It's perceived security.
Just to look at a hairbrush.
Right.
And, I mean, even the one time we were down in New Orleans when Al Gore was there, and I went through, I had a little pouch, had a box cutter in there.
Look at you with your box cutter.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, enough with your box cutter.
Let's leave those at home for now.
We always
okay,
have this
Donna?
box cutter. Well, I walk through, they check my little pouch purse. I get in there. They just look in the top of it. I get in there, you know, we're going to see Al Gore and everything.
You know, I think we're getting back to a little bit of normalcy, Opie. This woman's annoying me for some reason.
Why?
I don't know, just your voice.
My voice.
See, I'm feeling some normalcy again.
All right, Donna, thank you.
Okay.
It didn't take long. Good.
Trying to control Anthony.
Oh, my God, her and her box cutter.
Enough about the box cutters. Kerry, what's up?
Yeah, how you doing?
How you doing, man?
First thing I want to say is to speak for everyone, our hearts go out to the families, all the people that went. But it's making me sick listening to what some of these people are talking about on the air. All right? First of all, the people talking about going back to normalcy in the city. There's never going to be normalcy to the people and their families that lost their lives. All right? The only way we can get back to normalcy is when we see the flash of light in the mushroom cloud, when we go over there and we bomb every one of those people responsible. You know?
That would be nice.
To me, every one of those people, those women and children that were chanting in the street and cheering the death of our civilians, they just became soldiers.
Potential terrorists, future terrorists. These are the same people that when there's a goddamn earthquake or a mudslide or their little stinky village crumbles to the ground, we're the first people to pack food and aid and send it over. And the elementary school kids in our country, are they jumping for joy? No. They write little letters and cards and send it over there. And their little bastards stand there with their stupid flag and jump up for joy that our people are dead.
These are those Hillary Clintons and the liberal groups of our society that want to feel bad for these people. And you got to stop feeling bad for them. I don't feel bad for them all. I want every one of them eliminated. I think they deserve it. I think they're all terrorist sympathizers. Right. And I think every one of them harbor them, they hide them out. And as far as I'm concerned, that makes you're harboring a killer. That's what these people are.
Political correctness has no place in national security. We can't be afraid to offend these people by weeding them out.
That's right, you can't. What we got to do now, they declared war, and every one of those people dancing in the street, the women and children, all they're doing is raising their children to hate the United States.
Exactly.
That means in 10, 15 years from now, these people are potential terrorists.
They're cultivating weapons, is what they're doing. They're not raising children.
Destroyed, and these people are calling in with my mommy doesn't know where I am, and the box cutters, and stupid, ridiculous things like that. It's making me sick to my stomach.
Kerry, and you're New York Fire Department, right?
No, my brother's New York Fire Department. They lost a lot. His house lost a lot of people yesterday.
How many did they lose?
They lost 7 altogether.
Jesus.
Out of like 14 people. And there's no normalcy to their lives. Not today, not tomorrow, not for their day. Right? And that's what the big thing is. And all these people, there was not one military target hit yesterday in New York City. These were civilians. And the people in Palestine and Afghanistan were cheering it, and it was a disgusting sight.
Yeah.
And when I see a mushroom cloud and I see them people burning in the street, then maybe some normalcy will be brought back to the society.
Yeah. All right, Kerry.
All right? Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.
That's it.
Yeah.
Can't sit around and be all sensitive to, oh, wait, we can't offend this group, so why don't we sit here like sitting ducks? No.
Dan, you're next on the Opie and Anthony show. What's up?
Man, I was right there yesterday I was on a rooftop in New Jersey watching the whole thing. I am so pissed off right now. I can't even tell you. So see that? Did you guys see Fox 5 yesterday with that fat woman with her tongue in the middle of the street at the West Bank?
Oh, that teeth falling out of her head.
Just ridiculous.
Celebrating, dancing in the streets. Did you see the guy driving by in the little truck, and he's giving the victory sign and waving, and he's got a little banner inside his truck that says Ford. like he's proud to drive a Ford. He's driving an American car, and he's cheering. And those little future terrorists, those small weapons that they're raising, are waving their flags. And I was completely disgusted, and I could think of nothing better than seeing them burn.
Just terrible. Either to blow them all up or line them all up and give them the AIDS virus or something. I don't know what to think. Anyway, the second point is I was watching Channel 7 yesterday. I saw Joe Torres on Channel 7. He's on the east side of the World Trade Center. West side, whatever he was. He was on the west or the east side. He was on one of the sides, and he gets on the news report. He says, luckily, the debris fell to the other side that he wasn't on. He's like, thank goodness that it didn't fall to my side.
Gee, other people on the other side.
And then obviously someone told him his earpiece, you freaking douchebag, what did you just say? He's like, oh, Joe Torres, ABC News, get me off the air, please, very quickly.
Yeah.
Just disgusting. And anyway, guys, I wanted to commend you on yesterday. It was nice to hear some familiar voices, and it really got me through the afternoon. I appreciate it.
All right, Dan, thank you.
All right, man.
We're going to go to Matovich from CBS Sports. He helped us out a lot yesterday, and he's back on today. Pete, what's going on?
Hey, guys, last time I complimented you on the air, and you hung up on me, so let me just say, I just thought you guys did a terrible job yesterday.
No, we didn't hang up on you.
I'm just kidding.
We didn't have the power to do that from where we were yesterday.
No, not yesterday. Last time I talked to you guys from Philly. But anyway, I just watching the news here, and WNBC just reported that there was a flight yesterday morning at 9 o'clock from JFK to L.A. There were 3 Muslim-looking men that were arguing with the flight attendants, and the flight attendants asked them to leave the plane, and they would not leave the plane. And the flight attendants argued with them. They had to get off. They were persistent that they couldn't get off the plane.
Was this the guys that there was something wrong with their boarding pass?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
so they called the police.
Yeah.
As soon as the guys found out that the police were coming, they took off. And it turns out, it looks like that Flight 23, United Flight 23 from JFK to L.A. was another flight.
It's plane. Whoa.
So they just reported it now. It looks like it's unbelievable. It looks like there was going to be a 5th plane. And those 3 guys are at large now.
And that fits the M.O., the plane, the airline, the fuel in it to go to L.A.
Right.
Right out of
at 9 o'clock.
Kennedy, 9 o'clock.
Take off at 9 o'clock.
Wow. Oh my God! Imagine the people on that plane.
So those bastards are out there. So there are guys that are out there right now, still alive in our country.
They got to be rounded up and destroyed. They should be strapped to the cruise missiles that we bomb their country with.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
So, and Anthony, I agree with you. Last night, I was a Clinton guy, and I know you were killing Clinton yesterday, but I was a little nervous when Bush was elected. But last night, going into that speech, I heard everyone saying, this is the biggest presidential speech in decades. And I said, you know what? I'm with you 100%. I'm with you.
Yeah.
This is it. Let's go. And I'm telling you, about 5 minutes in, my mind started wandering. He lost me.
Yeah.
I lost interest.
I wanted a more emotional speech from this guy that was reflecting the people in this country and their anger a little better.
I wanted to be with them. I was looking forward to hearing it. I was on his team, and I'm still on his team. But
yeah,
I agree with you.
He had the same demeanor as when he was given that tax refund speech.
Exactly. He lost me. I literally called myself wandering. My mind wandering.
And one of the most important speeches ever. And you were wandering. Yeah, I've never seen him show emotion.
Anyway,
during the inauguration, as he became president, he had no emotion. If that's how he is, all right, that's fine.
Right.
But I don't think that's how he is. I think he's trying too hard to make a historic speech than he is to just go off the cuff with a few things and really put some emotion and how you really feel into it.
He was obviously reading, number one, which I thought was a problem, too. If that's what they do, that's what they do. But I thought this is the one time that it wouldn't have been a bad idea to just talk to us.
Roll your sleeves up, put your finger in the camera, look into it, and just go, hey, whoever's responsible, you're not getting away with this. Just something that kind of showed like you're a man that's pissed and ready to kick some ass.
It's unbelievable. And then the last thought I had was, in the middle of the night, I woke up to go to the bathroom, and I was carrying, when it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and you don't have your wits, and I started thinking, like, oh, wow, they bombed the World Trade Center, and then it, like, hit me, like a ton of bricks. Oh, my God, the World Trade Center disappeared.
It's gone.
It literally, like, shocked me.
You can't say that enough. It's gone.
It shocked me. And then I woke up, and my first thought was, oh, my God, something happened to World Trade Center, and they bombed it or something. And then when it hit me, I literally just snapped to. I was wide awake.
Yeah, it's strange. It was on everybody's mind yesterday as when it happened. And then the only break I got from it was the short sleep that I did get, and then the second my eyes open, bam, it's back in your head. It doesn't go away.
It's amazing. To me, it was even worse today, because yesterday just felt like a dream, like it wasn't real, but when you wake up and you realize that it really did happen, it's almost worse.
Yeah, the depression and then the anger just will not go away until I mean, call me shallow if you want, but the anger will not go away until I see some retribution.
Well, I think it's good. It's good news that plane never left, and it's even better news that those pricks are alive somewhere in New York.
Well, hopefully they get scooped up and they don't either get away or try to do something else.
Yeah, that's the other part of it too. But so I just want to let you guys know about that news. But anyway, keep it up. And I'll see you guys around.
All right.
Cool, man.
Take care.
Bye. Where do you want to go?
Grr.
Just millions of calls coming in. Jay, what's up?
What's up, guys?
Hey.
What's up, O&A?
Hey.
Hey, I work with this one guy. I'm an engineer in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
I work with one guy who knows one of the guys who helped design that building.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were didn't really know why the buildings fell the way they did.
Yeah.
Since they're so tall, they have to be reinforced on the sides with because of hurricane-type winds.
Yeah, that's why the windows are so small and thin and long on the building. I think in between each window is a big steel, what amounts to big steel pipes that run up the length of the building.
Yeah, normal buildings, they're structurally designed for the middle, but this was for the outsides. That's why the terrorists, when they hit the plane, hit on the corner, because that pretty much just crumbled everything right there.
You know, I wonder if that's actually, if the hitting on the corner was intentional, because it kind of looked like both of them didn't quite know where they were going to hit it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, man.
All right, take care.
Thanks, Jay.
What's up, Martin?
Tube construction, they call it. Hey, Adam Ferrara. There's my pal.
How you doing?
You're okay, and you live right there, too. You're right downtown.
Right there, man, right by Washington Square Park. It's the wind blew, and it was coming up 6th Avenue. And you could really smell it. We was down there all morning just cheering on the cops and volume. And the West Side Highway is lined with people with signs that say New York Heroes.
Yeah.
And just screaming.
Great. Where were you when it happened?
I was home.
You were?
I was sleeping.
Did you hear anything? I know. You didn't hear anything.
No, I woke up and the TV was on, and I looked at it, I go, what movie is this?
Yeah.
And it wasn't real.
Yeah.
And when the plane hit, my girlfriend was at the gym, and I just ran out of the house to go get her. And she came home. We met in the elevator. She was crying. It's just nuts.
Was the gym nearby? Or?
Yeah, on 13th.
So you're wondering about each other and stuff.
Yeah, it's nuts because you don't know what to do, and the phones go out, and you want to email. I left cold the house. I
know. Yeah, that's what happens. You know, when you're right there in the midst of it, and for relatives that don't live in New York, they just hear New York, and I think people from Syracuse were getting calls going, "Are you okay?"
Yeah,
people freak out.
My mother said, "We opened up the map. You're only a finger away." How about that?
Now, your mom and dad, I know your mom especially. She's just like
she had an evacuation plan. Get to Chelsea Piers. John's got the boat.
Yeah, I'm sure. A lot of people thought my boy. Yeah. Where's my boy?
Yeah.
Send Wheezy over there. She'll kick some ass. How dare you? Do you know my son was right near there?
Yeah.
A lot of people thought we broadcasted from the Twin Towers. They didn't know. I'm reading the email going, it was good to see that you guys were alive.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you got to read some of this stuff back there.
Well, we were scared because I called the office. I called your number in the back office, and I got a hold of, I called the house. I got you and your cell phone. I couldn't get through on your cell phone.
Yeah.
So I gave my girlfriend, we have walkie-talkies that I got as a gift for
The two-way.
Yeah, I got to take this. She goes, what is this? I go, just take this. Here's the code. Like, planning everything so I can keep track of her.
The walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
It's devastating.
And I got to interrupt you.
You don't even know how to deal with it.
I got to interrupt you because Psycho Mark's on the line, and he has limited time. Psycho Mark.
Holy S, let's go out and beat up some cab drivers tonight.
There's the Psycho Mark we know and love.
I'm going to strangle the first cab driver I see. I haven't seen one all day.
Mark, it's not time to be strangling cab drivers.
You're right. I apologize.
Mark, I saw you on TV yesterday. It didn't look like you. I've never seen you so serious in your life.
Dude, I've never seen anything like what happened yesterday in my entire life.
You were right there when this whole thing went down.
Dude, it was right out my entire window. I was 5 blocks from the whole thing. I saw both the towers go down. I saw at least 100 people jump out.
Oh, man.
I saw that sick towel head take the plane right into the building. I didn't see the first one. That got me out of bed.
Yeah.
The first one got you out of bed. Well, take us through it a little bit.
What were you thinking? All right, you hear the noise. You look at the World Trade Center. It's in flames. What do you think happened? What's going through your head?
Absolute. My jaw just drops, and you go, my God, this is a freaking movie. I actually thought I was tripping for a minute.
Did you know or have an idea of why it was in flames when you looked at it?
Well, when I got out of, it took about a second and a half to look out the window right after the explosion, and debris is just pouring out after the first hit. And I'm just in shock. You're like, holy crap, something just blew up huge in there. So I'm watching and watching. Yeah.
And you didn't know what it was?
Well, we didn't know at first, but then I turned the TV on, and immediately they started saying a plane hit it.
Wow.
So CNN reported it right away.
But you're still thinking it's an accident.
Right, well, you're not sure, but then there's this huge gaping hole with flames licking out, and people are jumping out, and then out of nowhere comes a 767, and this mother effer just went right through the building, dude. An entire engine, one of the engines comes flying off and goes flying down Church Street, bouncing off buildings, and ends up about a block and a half from my apartment.
You saw the engine fly off the plane?
Off the plane, bounces off several buildings, and skids down the street.
Oh, man.
Meanwhile, people aren't just running. So then, about 15, 20 minutes later, the first building starts to collapse. You could just look at it, starting to melt. Molten metals just pouring out of the corner of the building. And I'm going, oh, this is it. This thing's going down. And, I can't explain. How do you explain the World Trade Center falling down?
Yeah, there's no way.
Dude, I'm sitting there going, no effing way.
Yeah.
But as soon as I saw that second plane, I'm like, that's it.
Well, that's when you knew it wasn't an accident. When the second one hit, you knew it wasn't an accident.
Yeah. Exactly. It was meant to be. So then sure enough, I look outside, the Fox News truck's right outside, so I help the boys out, and I've been on my feet since the accident happened. I've not had 1 hour of sleep. Right now I'm on top of the 34th floor of, right on French Street, and overlooking. I'm actually with the Fox News crew, and we've got the picture of the building right now. And
their new valuable asset, Psycho Mark.
Dude, I just want to say hi to all the truckers downstairs and the West Side Highway down there with their WOW stickers on there, because there's a ton of guys down there. They're all waiting to take some of this rubble out. They've got maybe 200 dump trucks lined up.
Just waiting.
You would not believe the vehicles they're pulling out of there. They're just pulling out like a Suburban was flattened.
Jeez, man.
I mean, it was just insane.
Yeah.
Insane. And then last night, at 5:30, 7 World Trade Center went down, and they were actually able to get footage directly from my apartment when that thing went down.
Which is a huge building in itself.
Stories.
Like that was almost a secondary story. It's 47 stories high, and twice the width of both of the World Trade Center towers.
So it's still on fire right now. There's still people inside. There's one guy that took the flight down 74 floors. He was on the 74th floor, and he rode all the way down a cop, and they pulled him out.
And he called on the cell phone. When he got down, he made a call out on the cell phone. He said, hey, I'm still alive. Come get me.
He rode the building down 74 stories?
And he called on the cell phone.
How do you do that?
Dude, you just pray. I don't know.
How the hell does that happen?
No, it's just a mess down here. It's just a complete mess.
Yeah.
And I gotta go. I gotta get back to work here, and they need this cell phone.
All right, Mark.
All right.
Hey, thanks for this.
Yeah, God bless, guys. I mean, thank God I'm still alive, and, what can I say? One day at a time.
Yes, how would New York have survived if we would have lost the likes of Psycho Mark?
Well, who knows? There'll be no more back.
Okay.
All right, Epsis, take care.
All right.
Talk to you guys later.
Man, well, the rules have changed.
That went down in Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
In Shanksville, just before United Flight 93 crashed, a passenger telephoned his wife, told her the plane had been hijacked, and said he and some others were going to do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can speculate, of course, that maybe perhaps they did something that kept that plane from finding its target, which they say might have been the Capitol, the White House, Camp David. Yeah, it was heading toward Washington. So, hey, who knows? Who knows? I guess once they get the voice recorders, which is another thing. Giuliani and Pataki were on the news giving a press conference, and they held up pictures of the black boxes of the two planes that went into the World Trade Center towers. How the hell do you find that? I mean,
those have beepers on them.
They do?
And they track them down, right. So if they're lost in the water, they can kind of zero in on the signal that's being sent out.
Yeah, sure. That works, too. Sure.
How loud are those beepers, man?
Exactly.
I sure hope they do find it. One of the planes actually, the pilot had keyed down the mic when he was flying, and the tower picked up some of the conversation in the cockpit with the hijacker. And, heard the hijacker say, "Do what we tell you, and no one will get hurt." This son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm. Did he say it in English?
Yeah, it was all in English. They heard it all in English, and they won't get hurt. Meanwhile, they crash into the World Trade Center towers. Bastards. Response.
Yeah, that's what I want to hear.
Hardcore response.
It's gotta be.
Yeah.
We gotta blow up a country.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's plenty of countries that we know sponsor terrorism. Blow one up.
Yeah. Look, what's your response? Well, that country's gone. Right. Next.
You
he had nothing to do with it. Yeah, but you know who did.
You want to take him in now?
Yeah.
Go ahead. So you're next.
Tom disagrees. Tom, let's hear this one.
All right, Tom.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
Big fan of the show.
Let's let Tom get his point across. Tom.
My point is that if we go and bomb Afghanistan off the map, that's an act of terror. And
how is that, Tom?
Well, first of all, the people in the street celebrating, and that's a couple thousand people, a very secluded event, and even people in our government have said that.
Mm-hmm.
As far as going to war with Afghanistan, I think with the unbelievable support we have all over the world, I think it really is simply we're coming for them. Anybody that gets in our way is going to be sacrificed. But you can't just start dropping bombs on civilians.
How do you think we should take care and get bin Laden, who is in Afghanistan? The government in charge in Afghanistan knows he's in Afghanistan.
Protecting him.
How then do you think we should take care of this then, if not bombing Afghanistan?
I believe you send in special forces, Navy SEALs, and other high-level military. And
do you think
any resistance has to be dealt with in the obvious manner. But I think if
you're
we
putting
react
more American lives at risk.
Not only that, you don't know where he is in Afghanistan. He's hidden in caves. This country is big. The government knows where he is, and the only way to force their hand is to make their people suffer to the point that they say, "Hey, please, turn this guy over."
But I don't think that, enough, and whether you consider these people innocent or not, these people did not elect their leaders. And
then overthrow them, or pay the consequences.
And another point is that if Saddam Hussein had been killed this week, we would also be celebrating in the streets. So,
you know something? You got a point, but did he earn it?
Yeah, I mean, have you seen the papers? It's war.
He's another terrorist.
I just don't believe any more innocent people need to be killed.
And if you think anybody that lives in the country is guilty, then
hey, I'm not saying that. I'm sure there are people in Afghanistan that cannot stand their government that are crying about what happened to our people here in the United States. But you know something? What do you do? What do you do? That's their government that's holding on to this guy, and they're despicable people.
I mean, let me make clear that, redemption has to be achieved without a doubt. I'm not siding with anyone.
This is where he's being protected by the Taliban. He said 3 weeks ago in a London newspaper that something's going to happen to the United States. Yeah. What more do you need?
He's already tried once to take down the World Trade Center. Hey, Tom, what do you tell the victims' families?
That your family's dead, so now we're going to kill many others? I don't think that's necessarily...
What do you tell the families? Let me read something that just came over. CNN report from Ground Zero of the blast. Workers are using anything they can find to pick up body parts. Those parts in any bodies are being taken to one of several makeshift morgues. What do you tell the families?
So telling them tomorrow that we went and killed 10,000 Afghanis makes it better?
But we you know something? Makes me feel a little better. We didn't go over there unprovoked and kill their people. We are sitting here, a country...
This country started a war.
That takes care of the world for some reason. Yesterday was an act of war. It is now a war. War sucks.
War does suck, absolutely.
We did not start it.
Right, we're in a war situation right now, my friend. And these people understand one thing, death and destruction. It's what they deal out, and it's the only thing they understand. So you have to give it back to them a lot worse than they gave it to you. There's no diplomacy with these people.
Diplomacy is gone. They started the war. They chose the rules.
You got to prevent this from happening again, because next time it's going to be even worse, believe it or not.
Right.
If you can even imagine that.
Let me say what led me to this conclusion real briefly, and then I'll get off your show. Really what triggered this kind of thought in me was the last thing the president said to us last night, and that was God bless. And the Christian belief that only Americans are God's children is just such a disgusting way to portray.
Tom?
I mean, I'm not a religious guy.
Yeah,
but the mentality, especially among Christians in this country, is that only Americans are God's children.
Tom,
and I'm just a lot of people have died. Period. It doesn't matter what race, religion, color, creed. We get Yahoo is now like that idiot you just had on. Oh, let's go beat up a cab driver. What an effing loser.
Tom, can I tell you something? This whole thing, the devastation you see on TV, is in the name of someone's God. Mm-hmm. It's in the name of their God. So I don't even want to hear about anyone's religion right now. I don't want to hear the president say God bless. I don't want to hear any of that, because us humans have this twisted concept of what God is. We might sit here and think it's a great thing and God is great and he will support us. Over there, their version of God says, grab a plane and smash it into buildings. So I don't even want to hear... No. That's what they do over there. That's what these people think. They think that if they do this, it will bring them closer to their God. So I don't even want to hear any religion being brought up. And they get 70 virgins on top of that. 70 virgins, and they stay by the right hand of God in a land of milk and honey. Tom, that's what these martyrs... Tom, you're laughing. That's what they believe.
Well, I don't really believe any religion point, but and that's not...
I'm sick of hearing any religion right now.
I agree.
What's up?
What's up? I'm listening to this peace queen you got on the phone here. This is the reason we got in this place in the first place. We got to lay down nuclear weapons on these guys. You tell them you got 48 hours to put this bin Laden guy to our doorstep, or we're going to start launching bombs to every one of these countries.
Hey, there you go.
This stuff.
We give them a little out. We say, hey, hand them over or it's over.
And there's such...
I agree with that, but I don't agree you drop nuclear bombs on anyone.
Why not?
Oh, yeah? Have you seen the footage of what's going on? This is the only thing...
What is going on is unbelievably terrible.
And this is the only thing these people understand.
The people that have created this atrocity, not the people that live in the country that harbors this person.
That's
my point.
That's all these people understand. This is what they need to learn.
I'll break your effing neck.
And that's what it learns. Yeah. You ruined me.
My pal. All right, Foot.
All right,
yeah,
bye-bye.
Good point, man. Tom, we're done with you.
All right, have a good day.
And you know, I want to say, I don't want to feel like we were all beating up on Tom. He does have his opinion. I really disagree with it. I don't think, and Joe Curry, he had a great point with this is all these people understand.
About 48 hours to get the innocent out of the way.
And it's that kind of thinking that got us into this. We've always been very peaceful. We've always laid back. When we go to war, we spend umpteen $billion designing weapons so we could take a building out and not destroy the hospital right next door. We're pretty charitable when it comes to war. And this has gotten us into some trouble. Unless war is horrible and an awful thing that kills a lot of people in a horrible way, it's not effective. It's effective when you see what happens. See? That's war. There are dead people that did nothing laying out there. And you know how you respond to that? By effing them up even more. Because that's all they understand.
Anthony? Oh, yes. Time to start watching TV again. Another building's going to collapse.
Which one?
Building 5.
I thought that one was,
No, it's, they're being evacuated from Building 5 area because they think that's going to collapse next.
Is that the one with the pyramid on top?
I'm not sure which. Do you know which one it is, Ben?
I'm not even sure.
But now we're just waiting to watch another building collapse in the area. I guess recently another building did collapse. There are reports that a hotel has crumbled to the ground in the area.
How much more incentive you need, Tom?
You know, it's that kind of thinking, though. We went, you know, I've said this before, we went 8 years. Very prosperous, this country, for the last 8 years when Bill Clinton was in office. And don't start yelling at me. I'm not blaming Bill Clinton for this. Right. You know, I'm putting the blame 100% on the terrorists. But it created an environment that made it easier. Our intelligence just went down the crapper in the past 8 years. How many jobs do you remember being lost because all those bases were closing? These are important things. The National Guard got cut back. These are the people that used to do flights, regular flights over the country, just protecting the country. Remember how good you felt when the national anthem would play on one of the channels when they went off the air?
Yeah.
Years ago, when channels used to go off the air. And they would play the Star-Spangled Banner, the F-16 was flying, and then they'd show like a kid in bed at night sleeping, and don't worry, we're up here taking care of you. You know, that's what we should be doing. We should be protecting our airspace and not cutting back because it's not necessary anymore because the Cold War's over. It just changed to another enemy and another threat that we never addressed.
Well, the money went to different things. Screw the spotted owl.
Yeah, things like that. Social programs for people that don't want it. I mean, the money that was going to the military and to these programs were very necessary, and they were all cut back, and now we're paying for it. We should have known this was going to happen when they had this planned well over a year ago.
Anthony, just to quickly jump in, partial collapse confirmed at One Liberty Plaza. No, boy. Well, more damage.
I just hope they know to pull people back when things like this happen. But then it just makes the rescue effort, if there aren't any survivors in there, that much harder. The cleanup, the cost.
Sergio.
Hey, what you doing, guys?
You're next on the O&A show.
Listen, I want to know when are we going to start shooting, man? They start talking, they start shooting already.
Well, I think what the president said, for some reason, we have to be patient and that these people can't hide forever, which you know, leads me to believe it's going to be a little while, and if too much time goes by, it ends up like the USS Cole, which was bombed unprovoked in Yemen, and by Bin Laden, and we never answered that. To not answer this is an insult to the people that died.
The buildings are falling, and we're still talking.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely. Lower Manhattan is pandemonium. Buildings, falling. Landmarks destroyed. And we have talk about, we might do something in the future. Be patient. I don't want to be patient. I want cruise missiles going off now.
All right, guys. Talk to you guys later. Peace.
Thanks, Sergio.
We got battleships in New York Harbor?
Yeah, the aircraft carrier.
The aircraft carrier?
Yeah, you hear the fighter planes flying?
Yeah, I saw them.
Overhead? That's something. That's a little creepy here on the jet, but it's reassuring, you know? Makes you feel a little safe.
I don't want them flying over here. I want them flying over there.
Oh, no, I want them flying.
Yeah.
I want them flying right where they are.
Go over there.
Go over there. What are you doing over here?
Push them buttons. Send that stuff off over there.
They got some other equipment they could send over there. Sure.
When?
Hopefully soon. I'm not a patient guy when it comes to stuff like this. You know, I want instant gratification. They did it. We know the country that he's in. We know who's giving him support and who's giving him a place to sit his dirty ass. Mm-hmm. And why aren't we now bombing that country? I don't know. I don't have an answer. To you?
No. You tell him, look, we're coming in a tent.
Well, let me go to Dimitri from Boston. Dimitri!
Hey, how you doing?
All right. What's up, man?
I just wanted to say two things. I was driving today through Boston, standing at a red light. There's about 3 cars in front of me, and I look around and I see this van with 2 Arab-looking guys just standing right next to it, laughing about something. And the green light turns on, and the cars in front of me go, and I'm still standing there looking at them. And I realize that the cars in front of me just went, and nobody behind me is beeping. I look back, everybody, 5, 7 cars behind me just standing there looking at these guys. Nobody is even worrying about anything else around them. People the lives of people are changing already. We look at Israel that's been going through this for 50 years, and this is what they go through every day.
No, let me tell you something. I understand what you're saying, but this isn't what they go through every day. The amount of damage and loss of life that happened here today isn't, they haven't had anything near something as catastrophic as this in all the years piled up.
Why?
Why?
They have 5 to 6 armed people on every airplane.
Thank you. Another issue.
In the airport are security. More than half of the people, they go through chickens in the suitcases to find out if there is anything.
You know
like
why?
no,
let me tell you why we don't do that. Because somebody might be offended that their child had to see a firearm today. I was at the airport and we were going to Disney. And my son had to see a man with a gun. Is this necessary in our country? Because people are asses. They're asses.
They live here across the ocean and don't realize what is happening. They will be offered a bulletproof vest in the airport every day as a courtesy. They will realize that they are at war. This is the first thing they got through. The lifestyles will need to change because this will keep happening. This happens so easily now.
The security is fine, upping security at the airports, but I'll tell you something. I would gladly pay an extra $20 a ticket to fly if I knew it was paying for armed marshals, trained marshals on every flight in this country. That will be on that plane, and everyone knows that there are armed personnel on there. And don't start with stories of cabin pressure because of bullet holes in the walls. It's much better to have armed marshals on every flight. They will be paid through higher ticket prices. I have no problem with that. If I know that no one's going to pull a box cutter out when there are people trained to react to these situations and they are armed, you're not going to get situations like this happening.
The Israeli Air Company has been for 20 years. Not once their airplane has been hijacked. Right. Not once. But 4 in one day.
Oh, we can't upset people that write letters to the government saying, my little Billy had to see a man with a gun.
Yeah, I can get a vegetarian meal on a flight. Guess what? I want an armed soldier on the flight.
Right. Right, and you know something?
New York and clear up some debris there right now.
If people are going to cry and say, oh, has it come to that? You know, if it come to that, yes, I don't even want to deal.
It has come to that.
Right, Adam. Yes, it has come to that. And now we have to deal with it. It's a new millennium. It's a new millennium, and it didn't start January 1st, 2000. It started yesterday. There was a little delay. But this is the new age. This is the 21st century, and this is what we're dealing with right now. It's like the difference between the 1800s and the 1900s, and warfare between those 2 centuries. This is a new type of warfare, and this is how we have to deal with it. We got to put this political correctness and worries about pissing off certain groups away, because it's going to be our ass if we don't.
We got to get pissed. We got to get pissed.
Right.
Across the
Well,
country.
I'm pissed. How about you?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
There is no more diplomacy.
Anthony, this building is like shaking. There's smoke. I'm so distracted. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that one's
One Liberty Plaza is about to go. It's already partially collapsed.
It's smoldering.
Just in case, just in case you don't have CNN on, they just show in a panic where people are like, get back, move out of the area.
Just when you think it's over and we're in the cleanup phase, there's some of the same panic we saw yesterday in the streets.
Well, here's the details in this building. 743 feet tall, 54 floors. And it looks like it's gonna go.
Where's that? Where's that?
Oh, boy. They just said some goose stepping. It's Iraq, and there is Saddam Hussein, please, he has to get it too. He has sponsored this stuff. He has financed terrorism. Whether he's involved in this action, I don't know. I don't care. He's guilty of other actions against this country and other countries that want to live free. So he should have to taste some of the wrath. Yeah, that building's gonna go, huh?
Yeah, sorry. They're making it look like it's gonna go any second.
And here is some of Saddam Hussein's quotes about what happened yesterday. America reaps thorns sown by its rulers. There you go. The result of the thorns sown by its leaders in the world. That's what the terror attacks in the United States are.
What else did he say?
Same stuff. He keeps with the reaped thorns.
Let me go to Eric from Jersey. Eric!
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Bastard.
What's up?
Well, not how you doing. I'm sorry to sound so excited. But I just want to make a comment about what you said about how kids today in society aren't allowed to see guns and the nonviolence on television and in airports. I just want to give you a lot of props for saying that because, I mean, it's the absolute truth.
This is the day we live in.
If a child sees a gun or even if it's for his own protection, we got to have, a big uproar with, all the people who don't want any violence and whatever.
Eric, I'm going to cut you off because the mayor's speaking. I want to see if there's anything.
Okay, absolutely, man.
All right.
Talk to you.
Day and age we live in.
Well, thank you, Rudy. And on behalf of New York's congressional delegation, Senator Clinton, Congressman Rangel, Ardeen, Congressman Meeks, and Nadler.
See, I can't stand the name dropping they do, and they have to address everybody.
First, we've got a couple of points here to make. First, I want to thank the Mayor and Governor for the great job that they have done. We have watched television, and I have heard from more than
there's no reason to clap.
That they feel as bad as they feel about this, they feel relieved with people like Giuliani and Pataki down here in charge and keeping things as best as they can be under these difficult times, so we thank you. I also want to thank President Bush. I spoke to the President yesterday. He assured me that he was going to do everything, and his administration was going to do everything that it could do. He said, you have a blank check. And what we are here, what Hillary and I and the delegation are here to do is assess the damage, make an inventory list, and go back to Washington. I've told
Good luck. Hope you have a lot
Joe Alban, I'll talk about him in a minute, and others, that we may need the kinds of help that are different than usual disasters. We not only have the so many people who've been lost and the buildings that have been lost, but we have a financial services industry that has real trouble. We have insurance debts that are enormous. We have everything.
All right,
so,
Chuck. Thank you. Thank you, Chuck
The beauty of this display is that it's the federal...
There you go. Thanks, Chuck.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, all right, where do we go next? Making this up as we go along.
My God.
You know, we haven't taken a break yet today.
I know.
You ever think you'd see the day you do 4 straight hours of radio without breaking it off?
Well, unfortunately, it's situations like this. You just, I'm so wound up and just annoyed
Let's go to Alex. Alex, you're next on the Opie and Anthony show.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
I'd like to talk about national security for a minute and how many times it was breached during the 93 bombing of the Trade Center. Those guys that were held responsible came to this country with invalid visas and were detained at customs when they first arrived. They were then let go on a technicality. They then proceeded to purchase the chemicals needed to create the bomb that they made from public chemical warehouses. The worst part about it is their van that they had the chemicals in was involved in an accident on the way back from the warehouse, and it was impounded by the police. And those terrorists went to the impound lot the following day, filled out the appropriate paperwork, and got the chemicals back to make the bomb.
Jeez, man. Yeah, just a cavalcade of screw-ups in that one. And that's just the way, and then it just went downhill from there.
But we didn't learn
every
from
year. It got worse and worse.
It went downhill because we didn't learn from it. We didn't make changes.
I got to see what Hillary's going to say. Thanks, Alex.
This afternoon to visibly demonstrate the strong commitment that we feel from our colleagues in the Congress on both sides of the aisle, and the very strong support that we've gotten from the President and the administration. Before Chuck and I left, we passed a resolution 100-0 in the Senate, and it denounced this evil act of terrorism.
You didn't get a negative vote on that one? Who's voting against that? Who's voting against that one?
It's an attack on every American, no matter where he or she lives.
What a rah resolution that is.
A strong statement of our unified commitment to rebuilding and reconstructing, as the mayor said. So we will continue to
send over Bill's penis.
All of our colleagues and the administration to make clear the extraordinary needs for resources, not just today and tomorrow and next week, for months and years to come, that will have to come from the American people and our government. I also just again want to thank the mayor and the governor for their leadership.
It's like a friggin' award show.
I want to thank our firefighters, our police officers, our emergency medical,
my flip mode squad,
all of the help at all of our hospitals. You know, the people who've really been on the front lines, and many of whom we know have already lost their lives doing their duty to help everyone else. I don't know that there's ever been a time when an act of war, and that's what this was, called into action better prepared, more resolute, or courageous soldiers on the front lines to defend our country. But we saw that, and we're seeing it. And all of America, from everything we're told and the response that we're getting, understands that. And I believe that America will be behind New York in a way that will send a message to anyone near and far that, you know, New York is America, and America stands ready to defend what we care about, and that's this city and its people. And I thank everyone who's really been doing the hard work of trying to save lives, and we have to continue it, and we have to do everything possible to make sure that every life is that's possibly can be saved is. Thank you.
So why don't we, before we call it...
Oh, okay. Thank you. All right. Let's move on with Tammy. Tammy, what's up today? Tammy? She wanted to say that Krispy Kreme donuts saved her husband.
Oh, how'd that happen?
She hung up. Steve, you're next on the Opie and Anthony show.
Hey, guys, what's up?
Hey.
Did you guys hear anything about the Nostradamus predictions, the 9th month of the first year in this new century?
Yeah, the guy had a blue turban, though, right?
Everyone's been talking about this. You know, when I watched the special Nostradamus
with wasn't it
Orson Welles? Orson Welles. You know,
in the 4th quatrain.
If we read the 3rd quatrain, the fish in the frozen fjords. It could be anything.
What is a quatrain?
When that came out, they were saying, and from this quatrain we can say this will happen in 1984.
Yeah.
Like, because the movie was done in like 79.
Yeah.
So they had all their predictions maybe 5 or 6 years ahead, and we can say without a doubt that they mean 1981. And those passed and passed and passed. You could look at anything and say, oh, a Nostradamus prediction. It's called being vague.
Hey, Steve?
Yo.
What is the passage? Because a lot of people sent it to us, just in case people didn't.
I don't know it verbatim. I just heard an allusion to it.
Have that?
What's that?
In the new city. There'll be fire in the new city.
Something about the city of York in the first year of the
York.
century.
It never says York.
It never
says York.
It never says that. And besides, these quatrains are all under interpretation. They're not even sure what code he was writing in.
Right, it's not even
at the
English,
time.
right?
They don't know what calendar he was actually referring to.
All right,
because he was an underground guy.
I want the passage, just so, in case...
No, I don't know if somebody else
can get it
knows.
off the internet because those sites have been pounded.
It was sent.
Let's read the second quatrain. Crisp crumb coating.
It was sent to us about 100 times, and I'm pissed I don't have it in front of me, but... God, if this proves that psychics are full of ass stuff...
Call me now. Yeah, you don't know nothing.
Psychics.
Scrum coating. You know, green peas. Nostradamus loved green peas. Call now. $9.95 a minute. The quatrains will be read to you aloud. Yeah, I don't quite buy the whole Nostradamus thing.
But I tell you, when I saw it, scared the hell out of me.
Well, yeah.
Well, I'd just like to know what's next.
Well, we know what's next. Let's go, Bush.
Yeah, we know what's next. The next, I want to turn on the TV and see some action on our part. That's what's next. Or should more buildings just fall down and we not do anything about it? Did that fall down?
Opie. It's that's why I'm distracted. No, it looks like it's going to go any second. So.
Yumpin'.
Oh, this guy has the quote. Let's see what Sean has. Sean,
what's happening, guys?
You had the.
Hello, Sean.
I think so. My friend emailed it. I got in the city of God there will be a great thunder. Two brothers torn apart by chaos. While the fortress endures, the great leader will succumb. The third big war will begin when the big city is burning.
Yeah.
And?
There's the two brothers torn apart. There's the two buildings. The third big war.
Oh, there you go. The two brothers torn apart.
Doesn't sound very good to me, man.
Wow. I could interpret the phone book.
Yeah, I think the guy
what happened yesterday.
Something when he wrote that one, bro.
Two brothers.
Well, the towers looked alike.
West Coast Dave sent the quatrain.
Yeah, I'm deleting this email, man.
It is not by Nostradamus. It is a fake. But I do remember something like that being said in that movie there, West Coast Dave, on the West Coast. Dave?
When I saw that movie, it scared the hell out of me, and I've always been looking for a blue turban, because the guy's supposed to be wearing a blue turban.
Yeah, someone sent us a math equation. This is how crazy people get with all this.
Right.
Hey guys, something coincidental you may want to talk about. The flights that were hijacked were from United and American. They were numbered as follows: 11, 93, 175, and 77. 11 equals yesterday's date.
Right.
9 plus 3 equals 12, today's date. So that would take care of flight 93. 1 plus 7 plus 5 equals 13. Thursday's date, 9/13. 7 plus 7 equals... But read this.
You know what math I want to hear? If a bomb leaves the United States at 2,000 miles an hour...
And then,
the guy lost me. It started off like, okay.
7 plus 7 equals 14. Friday's date, not 14. Hopefully this will coincide. Hopefully this is a coincidence and the terrorists can't add. But if it is correct, there will either be acts of terrorism every day for the next few days at Grand... Oh, please. I don't think so.
Math equations now.
Yeah, they had to pick the flights, it was a coincidence that there were flights that originated near New York and had enough fuel to go to L.A. Please,
Mark,
stop it with your babble.
Mark wants to make a point here. Mark, what's going on?
What's going on?
Hey.
I just want to make a point about Hillary Clinton.
Okay.
Everybody forgets about a year or two ago when she was embracing Arafat's wife.
Oh, right. Remember that?
Peaceful and everything. I just wanted to bring that up. I didn't know if anybody remembered that.
I love that tablecloth on his head.
Remember when Arafat visited the White House and Bill had just gotten a Hummer?
Yep.
From Monica?
Yeah.
Arafat is very, very frightened right now.
And he should be.
I'll tell you, he says he's donating blood to go to some of the survivors. He's just doing that he is so scared now, he's one of the real high-profile guys.
Right. And he knows where he is. So.
Yeah, everyone knows where he is at any given moment, and he's very effective right now, and I think he should be. He's a two-faced, despicable man, which is even worse in some ways than this Bin Laden who hides out in caves and everyone knows he's a scumbag. This guy looks our leaders and leaders of the free world right in the face at the UN and lies right to him. So he has a lot to fear.
Tammy's calling back. Tammy.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
How are you?
Thanks. Good.
I heard one of the best survivor stories. It's really kind of neat to hear all these people and how, like, they survived just by a couple of minutes because they did this, that, or the other thing.
Yeah, there's some of that in the papers today. One guy survived because he watched Monday Night Football and stayed up late, so he went into work a little later.
A woman I work with, her husband works on the 92nd floor of the second building that was hit. On his way to work, he passed the Krispy Kreme and decided, I'm not going to have the donut. Goes up to his desk on the 92nd floor, decides he wants the donut, comes all the way back down, and that's when the bomb goes off while he has the donut in his mouth.
Well, it was a plan.
Saved by a Krispy Kreme. I have a whole new respect for that donut. What?
Okay, terrific.
Okay.
I thought it was a great story.
You're a little too excited over a donut.
Nice gift.
Well, I always liked Krispy Kremes.
It's an incredible story, yeah.
We'll set up a Krispy Kreme defense shield around the country.
Well, there you go.
Fear the giant
All right,
roller.
thanks.
It's nice to know they're good for something.
Fear the donuts. Jeremiah from D.C., right?
Oh, hey, what's up, man? Yeah, from D.C.
Hey.
Actually passed the Pentagon yesterday on the road, and it's horrifying. I can imagine what you all are going through up there. But I just wanted to thank y'all for, it's like you're echoing the sentiment of, how a lot of people feel, a lot of my friends, a lot of people that I know, how they feel, and a lot of news organizations aren't covering, comments such as ours and yours.
Yeah,
so I think they'll be echoing that comment and they'll be hearing it on the radio, because I wish I could be on the radio for like 4 hours a day just complaining up a storm, and it makes me feel good to hear it.
Is the Pentagon still burning?
I'm not sure. I'm not near it now. Passed it yesterday, but
didn't they pull the people out because there was still another fire?
I'm sorry?
There was still a fire or something? They had people...
Yeah, I heard some kind of problem like that, but I don't think it's...
So I just appreciate you echoing the sentiment of millions.
Yeah, I kind of got tired of watching the news and listening to some of these anchors.
Being all diplomatic, and it's not the time to be diplomatic.
Yeah, they're guys, too, that, a lot of these news guys are just up there hoping they win one of these news awards for covering this story, and they're trying to get the little catchphrase or little angle that no one else is getting, and they're being very politically correct and stuff. And no one is really capturing the anger of this country right now, and it's making me sick.
Yeah.
Everyone is just pissed off, and that hasn't been addressed.
Yeah. Well, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Bye. Should we take a break, finally?
Well, you want to take a break?
I don't know.
You want to sell some horny goat weed?
No.
Yeah, right?
No. Huh? We go to Wins for a couple. You gotta take a leak. That's what I got.
All right.
I see everyone else squirming around here. We just went 3 straight hours. How about we do like a 2-minute break in? We can keep going if you want.
Well, we could do that. I just want to get to John on line 2.
John's right.
Because he disagrees with me.
You know what? We don't have to take a break.
No, that John.
No, we don't have to take a break. You start with John, I'll take my leak.
All right.
And then you take your leak, and then Adam takes his leak, and we'll just keep going.
Line 2.
All right, there's John.
John, you better be there. Opie's got to take a leak.
John.
Hey, John? You gotta be kidding me. Hold on. Try this.
John. Hey, Johnny.
He's gone.
He's gone. Well, what he said was he disagrees with me about the bombing because he doesn't, we don't know who did it yet. How many times do you have to say it?
Oh, come on. The guy said 3 weeks ago in a London paper, look, this stuff's coming your way.
And not only that, this isn't about who did it. We assume it's Bin Laden.
Right.
But it's not directly about who did this. It's about who harbors terrorists, who supports them, who gives them the money and the training facilities and just the place to sit their dirty asses down. Mm-hmm. That's what it's about. This isn't about retribution for this act. This is cleaning house for all the stuff that we've had to put up with for years.
This is, as I've said before, Michael Corleone, the end of The Godfather. We take care of family business today. Stuff that built up for a while. Just because they're not directly responsible for this act, we have to clean up. We have to go into these countries that support terrorism and give these people safe harbor and make them think twice and make other countries think twice about harboring them. There's no upside for a country to harbor a terrorist. That's what the point we got to put across. We got to put across that if
harm will come to you.
Right. If you harbor them, we will screw you up so incredibly bad that there's no upside.
And Afghanistan was all mad at us because of the sanctions we put on that country because they wouldn't turn bin Laden over.
Right.
Give us the guy. What do you want? We'll give you what. Give us the guy that did this to us.
You know why they're not giving us the guy?
Why?
He, first of all, has a lot of money and a lot of power. And they need that, Afghanistan. They're having their own battles. They need somebody, a lot of money and a lot of power. But no one is really hurting Afghanistan for holding on to this guy. No one's bombed Afghanistan for holding on to this guy. We just sit by while the coal gets bombed and people die, and we've done nothing. That's why we have to go in and clean house. Start with Afghanistan. Make it so they have to throw him out. Look, you can't stay here.
Yep.
America's pissed. You got to go somewhere. Another country now, he says, I would like to stay here and rest or get my army together here.
Not here.
Get my people. Oh, really? You do? What's in it for me? Because I know a bombing is in it for me.
If you stay.
Right.
So pack up the camel and get the hell out of here.
That's what I'm talking about, John, who hung up. That's why we can bomb these countries without knowing, who did this act. This is a war on terrorism, not a war on the terrorists that did this act. Yeah, we'll get them too. But this all of a sudden is a war on terrorism. And it's got to be fought seriously this time. Not a little half-assed, send a few cruise missiles and forget about it. Hey, let's go to Ron. Ron, who's in the Marines. Ron.
Hey, what's going on, Owen?
Hoorah! What's up, Ron?
Hoorah! Hey, I just wanted to call in and say how right you guys are. It's amazing how much funding we spend on everything else, and yet we cut back on our national defense.
We've castrated ourselves.
We did, and now we're paying the price for it.
We've castrated ourselves. We've cut so much out of the military, and people don't understand. Not only do we need it to protect ourselves and our country, it does give the country jobs.
Yeah, the economy.
The economy. A lot of people make money from the military just being there and being strong and being large numbers and having the bases around. Whole cities have been built on the fact that military bases are there. And they cut these programs and the bases, and this money has gone to programs that are they're meant for people that don't want them and don't care. They're wastes of money. They're wastes of money. The top priority should be that things like what happened yesterday don't happen, and we need a strong military and a strong intelligence agency to find out that stuff like this is going on and deal with it.
That's a fact. And it's a shame that we've been going through this stuff for 10 years, and now we're backed in a corner to where we have to do something about it.
Yeah.
Because they just came to our backyard, and they screwed with us.
A lot of people look at a terrorist strike like we saw yesterday differently than a military strike done by another nation with bombers. For some reason, the plane has to be green, doors have to open up, and bombs have to drop for people to go, oh my God, it's worse.
This is worse.
Right. It's our own equipment, and it's equipment you take for granted that flies over your head every day.
And it was aimed at innocent people.
Yeah.
It wasn't aimed at a military installation.
But for some reason, some people can't soak it in as real war. If you saw a foreign country's or a terrorist organization's plane fly over and bomb bay doors open up and bombs come out, paratroopers come down and murder people in the streets, you would be like, oh my God, we have to do something right now. Some people don't seem to understand that just because it was our aircraft, that was a personally guided jet fuel missile.
Well, we don't know who the enemy is. Well, we know where they are.
Right, and we know who's supporting them. We have to do something. It was a strike just as sure as it was if tanks rolled across our border and shot them with their guns.
And guess what? If they did have a military and tanks and boats, they would be landing on shores. They don't have it. That's why they used our planes.
The oceans, not enough to defend us anymore. It worked for many, many years, the fact that we were isolated by 2 huge oceans. It's not a fact of life anymore in this millennium. We have to deal with this right now, right where we are.
Hell, these guys trained right in Florida.
Yeah.
Right in Florida.
We let them come over here and use our schools to teach them to kill us. We got to stop worrying about upsetting people and upsetting groups and put the magnifying glass closer to some of these people and find out who they are without worrying about stepping on toes or worry about a congressman that wants to get reelected having to receive too many letters from a certain group or organization or whatnot and say, ooh, am I going to get reelected? But we can't worry about this anymore. We got to worry about these people hurting us.
Let's get Norton in here. Norton, what's up?
Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Hi, Adam.
Hey, Norton.
I'm agreeing with you, Ant, about I'm so sick and tired of them being frightened of offending people.
Yep.
I want everybody with a bad mustache and a hyphen in his last name to be bodily searched before he gets on a plane. Right? They're terrorists, and I'm sick. And they were dancing in Patterson, in Jersey.
Well, now I'm getting reports now that wasn't happening. Somebody had made that up, and the police chief from Patterson actually called up Don and Mike and said that absolutely was not true.
Okay, well, they were dancing in their own homes. They were dancing somewhere. I'm sick and tired
of it. We saw them dancing over there in the Middle East. They were loving it in Iraq.
Yeah, running out of their filthy hovels and dancing in bare feet, these savage animals.
With their dirty asses that just smell.
Yeah, and just stupid peeled back foreskin they haven't washed. I am so sick and tired of it. There should be armed guards on every flight. Armed security, and they were talking about that, and then someone said, well, it's going to scare passengers. Like heading for Tower 2 is going to scare passengers.
Absolutely. I would much rather have a professional armed marshal, somebody that his single job is to be trained in the art of taking out terrorists on aircraft, maybe the art of negotiating with these people right up until you blow his head off. I mean, it's got to be done. This is the new millennium that we are living in right now. Like I said, the new millennium didn't start 2000 in January. It started yesterday.
Yep.
This is what we are dealing with now.
I actually was eating, and I live in Jersey by the GW Bridge, and you can smell it smells like a fire.
Yeah, it's burning.
It was blowing up 6th Avenue. Eyes are tearing and everything.
It's absolutely, they effed up the skyline. I mean, you look at New York, every time I look at the city, I just get rage at what they did to the skyline and all those people. I just want us to bomb. I said this yesterday. Bomb the country.
Norton, Anthony mentioned it earlier, too. How eerie is that cloud? It feels like it's the ghost of the Twin Towers. It doesn't want to leave. It's like it's a plume of smoke coming up from where the towers were. That's just a reminder that something was there.
Yeah.
It will not go away.
Yeah, it's really, really disturbing. I mean, that's why I can't even look at it. That's why Friday and Saturday I gotta do bananas in Poughkeepsie. I mean, I have to.
You whore! Holy smoke! You whore! Oh, my God. You are truly despicable, Jim Norton.
I'm an awful little man.
You are. I think the comedy owner is despicable. Cancel shows. Norton, how do you do that?
Do what?
How does a comedian get up on stage in front of a crowd that you know damn well is going through the same thing everyone else is and try to make them laugh?
I want to go on last night. I really did. It's not that you make fun of what happened because of disgraceful. You can talk about it, but
yeah, that's true because we don't normally do shows like this, so I guess it's just a place to get together and vent.
Yeah, but I'm probably going to go on somewhere tonight in Jersey if I can. I just got to get on stage, and of course I'll address it.
I don't know how you do that.
You just go on and scream.
Yeah, I mean, basically...
You got to get it out of your system.
You got to talk about it. I mean, there's nothing funny about it.
Oh, but it's like this, the show we do on a daily basis isn't quite like the one we've been doing for the past couple of days.
There hasn't been a dick joke in 4 hours.
Right.
You know what it is? Because somebody on your show said it before. I mean, could Hillary Clinton say one thing that's realistic?
No.
Can they stop trying to get the poignant quotes? I'm sorry. I didn't want to see them singing, God bless America. I don't want my Senate and Congress
She
to
went
look
on
like
and thanked everybody. You know, you thank the cops, you thank the firemen, you do what you can to help, and then you figure out when are we going to strike back at these people.
Yeah, standing around singing, I want to see anger out of these people. Colin Powell is the only one with any balls in the entire administration.
Yeah, him. Newt Gingrich had some great remarks, too.
Did any of you guys see Schwarzkopf on with Brokaw last night?
Yeah.
He goes, those bastards. And Brokaw didn't even know. He was really pissed.
But you know something? I love that. There's a guy who just looked in and said, those bastards. You could tell what he was feeling. It wasn't a written speech trying to get the next line that'll end up in social studies books
Giving a speech,
years
he
from
wasn't
now.
spitting out sound bites.
Yeah, I don't want to hear the word justice. We got to south on justice. I like when they're talking about punishing those who did it, because that implies big bombs. That's what I want to hear.
I don't want to hear how resilient we are as a people and how they will not undermine the spirit of this great nation. We know that.
I want a rallying cry. We have nothing to fear but fear itself. Let's go get them.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I want to hear somebody finally express anger.
This was our finest hour.
That's it. That's the gospel. That's it. I'll follow you. That's the guy I'm going to follow.
Absolutely.
Are you guys in Manhattan today, or do you get into New York?
Disclose that.
Yeah.
They're still not open from Jersey, though, is it?
George Washington Bridge, open.
It is open to it, so I could get in and do my set tonight.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I wasn't sure.
Where are you going, Norton?
No, I'm not going to play. It's just a set in the city.
Norton, I might have to go see it tonight.
No, because I
want to see how
I actually went down to the cellar last night. There was no show, but I just went down to sit at the bar and be with people and hear the speech.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm doing a set at stand-up tonight, but it's just a 10, 12-minute set. But I just got to get on. I mean, just to get some sense of normalcy.
I went with Lenny Clark. We got on our bikes and rode down there. He goes, "Come on, pal, we're going patrolling."
Lenny Clark on a bike.
Me and Lenny Clark.
Wow.
And we rode down just to see it, just to do something, just to be together. And
miracles do happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you do feel a weird bond with other people because you know they're absolutely hating. And as far as whoever called up and said that they really don't know who it is, yes, they do.
Yep.
And it's unfortunate, but you don't think it's a black guy, you don't think it's a Jewish guy, you don't think it's an Irish guy or an Italian. It's an Arab group. We know that. All right? They found outside of Boston in one of the cars a videotape that had a fuel consumption information and flight information, like plane flying information, and a Koran. All right? That's not a member of the IRA.
Right.
It's not racist, but we know who's doing it. And if they don't like living here, I wish they would leave. I really do. If you're not happy here, please go away.
No, they're not happy that we're happy. Saddam Hussein, let me see that quote right there. Here's the mentality we deal with these people. He says, exporting evil not only wherever its armies are, but also wherever its motion pictures go.
Of course,
This is Saddam Hussein talking that he doesn't like our motion pictures.
And whoever calls them motion pictures in this day and age, they're movies.
We don't like those talkies.
Exactly.
If the American people remember all this, they will salvage their security and the security of the world from their rulers.
We'll feel more secure when you're dead.
On the other hand, if what happened in the U.S. was an internal matter, the work of American nationals, then the house dwellers know best where their evil resides.
He's turning it around.
He's trying to turn it around because of the Oklahoma City bombing. But no, we know who did this. And we're coming for it.
And you're right, there was no rebuttal, as far as I know, in Yemen for the coal.
No, there wasn't. They let it go. They put a warning to Afghanistan. They wouldn't give them bin Laden, so they put a warning and said, look, anything happens, we're holding you responsible. That was the rebuttal.
Mm-hmm.
After they bomb one of our ships, that's what they get.
A military ship. What more do you need? They blew a friggin' hole in a battleship.
Because they weren't allowed to man the guns.
Why? You're afraid of Yemen?
They don't want to.
No,
they didn't want to annoy Yemen.
They don't want to offend people in Yemen. Don't be offensive.
Right, Jim. We're gonna let you go.
All right, guys.
It's getting a little too crazy around here.
Take care, Jim.
Take care, boys.
When do I get to take a leak? Whenever you want, man. Okay.
We gotta go too.
We got Josh from D.C. Josh.
Yeah.
Hey.
Pentagon, 2 days ago, or a day ago, my dad was in his office. And I have no idea who these people are, I have no idea why they're doing this, but they decided to fly their plane into my dad's office.
And,
I'm feeling this a lot more intensely than anybody else is.
Wait, Josh, so your dad's dead?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
I mean, these people killed my father. They killed my family. Right now, I'm 16. I got 15 days till I'm 17. And if we go to war, first thing I'm doing, I'm going down to a Marine recruiter's office and filling out papers. So I can go over there, and I can give you guys what they deserve.
Yeah, I mean, and what do you think they deserve, Josh?
Nothing less than death. They deserve nothing less than to be shown that their actions shouldn't be tolerated. These things can't be tolerated in America. That's not what we're based on. I mean, we let these people come here. We give them a home. Hell, we give them money. Our government gives them money to live here. And the thanks they have to show for this is killing millions of innocent Americans, thousands, I'm sorry, of innocent Americans for no reason.
Wow,
You're right, man.
I'm speechless. I mean, what do you say to something like that? Your dad was just at work, right?
He's an Army intelligence officer. He was sitting in his office.
Right.
I had people come into my school and tell me what had happened, and I was devastated. Nothing else to do. I'm sitting there in my government class, sitting there going on about what's going on, and my guidance counselor walks in the door and drags me out in the hallway and said, "Your father works in the Pentagon, right?"
Right.
Yeah. And from there, everything just went straight down.
Jesus. All right, Josh. Well, thanks for sharing today. I mean,
No problem.
there's nothing we can say to that. Nothing. All right.
Awful, man.
Thank you, though.
All right, Josh. Awful. Stacy's saying we're being irresponsible. Stacy, what's up?
Man, I mean, you guys are totally entitled to your opinion, but I think you're being totally irresponsible.
In what way, Stacy?
You guys are inciting people to violence.
In what way are we inciting people to violence? What do you mean? Inciting people to violence in this street? I mean, on our streets, or inciting our government to violence?
I'm afraid that you guys are talking about nuking and blowing up and hurting people. You are inciting people to hurt other people in the United States.
How?
Because
we're never. No, let me tell you something.
You know it wasn't an Irish person. You know it wasn't a black person. Well, you know what? The Arab, anyone who's from Middle Eastern countries, are very obvious. And you're by advocating this.
We would never condone any violence to anybody that is in this country or driving a cab or anything, because we never said that.
No, but you guys are working people up to a point that it could happen, and I just think that's a little irresponsible.
Well, you know something, Stacey? I'm sorry. I got a little worked up yesterday looking at two planes smash into our city, and it worked me up a little bit. Inciting people to violence, the violence I saw yesterday, maybe I am a little worked up.
Stacey, we know people that died yesterday, okay?
Yeah.
Stacey, did you hear the last phone call? A 16-year-old kid's father was killed.
I know people who are in the Pentagon and are possibly dead. I don't know. I haven't heard. I've been trying to.
Stacey, what should we do?
All right.
What should we do?
Well,
should we all sing God Bless America?
Show, it would be nice to hear a lot of other opinions instead of everybody who's saying, let's nuke them, let's nuke them.
Well, you know something? There aren't many other opinions out there. That's pretty much what a lot of people are thinking right now. And we have put on the air other people that have other points of view.
Very few, and then they're called peace queers.
Yeah, the peace queer that I called up earlier, yeah.
I've been listening to you guys, and I'm glad to hear that there's this forum talking about the issues.
All right, but we're not controlling the phone calls. This is what's coming in.
You're voicing your opinion.
Right.
You guys are just also feeding the fire, you know?
Feeding the fire? No, the fuel in the planes they crashed into our buildings fed the fire. This is... Aren't you outraged, Stacey?
Oh, I am certainly outraged.
And what would your answer be to this outrage?
My answer is to find out who did it and punish those people. Not more innocent people need to die.
How do we punish
him? You know what?
How do we punish this guy?
How do we punish him?
Fighting terrorism with more terrorism?
No. It's not called terrorism. It's called war.
No, it's war.
It's still...
Stacey, take a flight from Cleveland to New York City. I'll personally give you a tour of what's going on about 3 miles to my right now.
Terrorism and war...
You can help pick up body parts.
No, they're not. No, they're not. Terrorism and war are not the same thing. Innocent people were killed yesterday.
If we go and bomb the crap out of Afghanistan, and don't care who we're aiming at, and we kill a whole bunch of people who have nothing to do with, like, the military.
Then maybe they will think twice about harboring a terrorist. No, terrorism is when you're going about your life and all of a sudden you're dead. You're trying to work. You're going about your life. Your government is very just, very generous with its support in the world. It is pretty much the world's police force.
You're saying terrorism only happens to democratic countries that, really aren't democratic in the first place? There's no such thing as,
No, there's terrorism all over the place.
You're saying it's only to just countries.
No, I'm saying this is our version of what happened yesterday. These are who terrorized us. We didn't ask for this. We didn't do anything that justified them doing this. Now our response is going to be harder than what they dealt us.
This is the only language they understand.
And Bin Laden is being supported by Afghanistan.
Cut off. Hey, I'm all for going and killing the people in the military who were helping to orchestrate
It wasn't the military.
And can you hear me? Yes.
Wait, Heather's on the line with Stacy.
All right, I want to just tell you one thing, okay? My brother's in the Marines. Okay, he's in there. They shipped him out yesterday.
Yeah, I know.
And you don't have any problem with, my brother going over there and risking his life for your ass so you can wake up in a safe country tomorrow? I'm sorry, you can't tell me that there's too much violence. The only language these people are going to understand is if you blow up their family and make them suffer the way that we are.
Last person to suffer and gives up wins, right? Or loses. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm sick and tired of this country. We are a tough country.
It's a little something called Vietnam. Same shit happened. Excuse my language.
Right.
My father was in
and we were killing innocent people over there. And what happened? Most of the people who came back were shunned from society. And
I know. My father was a Marine in Vietnam. He came off the plane after being in Vietnam for 3.5, 4 years. Came home after seeing what he saw over there, and some friggin' hippie pacifist spit in his face that just provided freedom for him. I don't want to hear things like.
Hello? Heather?
Yeah, the only language that these people are going to understand is when you blow them up.
Yeah.
We claim we have all these balls and we're like this tough country. Show them for once. Right. What is about making friends and shaking hands in other countries? That has nothing to do with it.
That same opinion can be handed over to the same people and they can say it back to us.
You know what?
We're a bunch of assholes.
I feel this way because of what they did to us.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go over there and drop a bomb on them because I just felt like for the hell of it I felt like killing people.
It's not the same thing if we do it to them. It is a response to their terrorism.
Right.
And it's all they understand.
Justified.
So you're saying we can't fight violence with violence? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying it's not the intelligent thing to do.
So
yes, it is. They don't understand intelligence.
What do you want us to do? Go over.
You're going to reason with someone that thinks that if they fly a plane into a building, they're going to get closer to God? You're going to reason with that person?
Right.
What do you think the political correct thing to do is? Request a letter from them?
Having higher military presence, it probably would not have stopped this thing from happening.
Maybe it didn't stop it from happening because we weren't looking behind our backs, but now we're going to shove it in their face. We should shove it in their face.
Should we also intern all the Afghanis and Arabian people or people from the Middle East, just like we did during World War II? Would that help solve the problem?
Please.
Did we mention anything about internment, Stacy?
No, but I'm asking you, would that help solve the problem so that we're watching our back?
You know what? If we weren't so worried about people that, and I'm not going to sound like a racist because I really don't think I am until this whole thing.
Don't worry about it.
But what I'm saying is, if we're so damn worried about having a friggin' lawsuit up our ass because of discrimination charges, then maybe these people wouldn't be in the position to screw us as they are.
There you go. We're all scared. We're walking on eggshells.
Let's intern everybody who does not look like an
Now you're on Stacy, you're on the other side of the spectrum now. You went all the way to the other side of the spectrum. There's a middle ground here where we don't have to tiptoe around and be so politically correct and, like Heather said, be afraid of lawsuits. We can go a little the other way though and look into some people a little closer. If you're coming over from an Arab nation with student visa and you don't go to school, maybe you're doing something else here.
Further, that's not what any.
No, that is what I'm talking about. How do you think these people got in the positions
to get through 2 planes in 15 minutes? How do you think these people got in the position so that they slipped through? There was somebody on the inside. There was somebody on the inside letting them in there. Come on. Okay, well, and even if there wasn't, okay, the reason that those people were in the job in the first place.
Two different airlines.
5 planes.
No, but somebody got him into the country.
Stacey, you're infuriating some people to hang up on you. Yeah, I think what you're doing is working people up. I'm sorry, Stacey.
Because I'm advocating that we don't go nuke other countries. Okay, well, when they start World War III, when they're knocking on your door,
we got to make sure this never happens again.
Your family gets blown up, we'll see if you're still singing the same song.
You know something? I feel a little bad here because I assumed, and stupid effing me, I assumed that if you were in other parts of this country and saw it on TV, maybe you felt the same thing we felt just a couple of miles away or absolutely at ground zero where this happened. But for some reason, it didn't translate over TV, I guess. I guess what Stacey saw wasn't strong enough, and we really, I guess, only the people that are right around this horror actually understand what happened, because Stacey apparently doesn't understand.
Stacey, we're smelling death today. What are you smelling?
You go outside, you take a breath, you smell death is in the air. Maybe you need a little of that.
I want to know what she really thinks. If this guy came in and her family was all dead in there, would you still be singing the same song? Would you still be saying that, you can't fight violence? If you watched your mother or your father dying.
Did I not say that we need to hurt the people who actually did it, but we can't go around killing innocent people.
But the people who are hiding them are not innocent.
It's called collateral damage.
Who is innocent? What, the little kids that are screaming and clapping and cheering at 5 years old? They don't even know what they're talking about.
Future terrorists.
They don't know what they're talking about. That's called being innocent.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's called being brainwashed and being a threat to this country. You know who's innocent? The poor people in their buildings, the poor cops and firemen that went to try to save people.
Right.
I agree with you.
Those same little kids that you're calling innocent are going to grow up and carry guns just like their parents.
They're weapons under construction.
That's what they're being taught.
Oh, are you going to go over there and teach them something
inherent in them?
So we'll send teachers over there, Stacey, to teach them a better way. It's a lost cause. The only thing we can do, you can't teach a roach not to walk out of your wall and eat a crumb. You kill it. That's what it is. They're roaches. You don't teach it. You don't teach things that it's instilled in these people. From the time they're kids waving flags, celebrating death of Americans. They're not children at that point. They are weapons under construction.
During, the 50s and 60s, and they learned that all the communists were pigs, and, all the other racial epithets for, Asian people for, who in Vietnam and stuff. Well, apparently then, by your standards, then they would have to be considered roaches too, because a lot of people, back in, the 40s and 50s were brought up to hate other people because of, what the government was and everything. We taught people to hate, Vietnamese. We taught people to hate communists.
And we evolved past it.
It's just as bad as the other people.
Stacey, I think you're entitled to your opinion just like everybody else.
Yeah, we're just as bad.
All I can say to you is that the same thing you're talking about is what I feel got us into this problem in the first place. I'm not naming presidents. All I'm saying is that if we spent a little more time considering our own citizens in this country, rather than going around and shaking hands in every other friggin' country, like you said, and then they're talking crap to our faces, and we're sitting there smiling and taking it.
Yeah.
That's what got us into this. Who cares about foreign affairs? To a point you have to do that. I understand. But to another point, you don't give up your own citizens, and you take care of your own country first.
Let's not worry about stepping on toes and take care of our own asses.
That's right. We have to. Where are we going to be? Where are we going to be laying there with bombs going off on our heads, blowing our kids up and blowing our families up, and then sit there and say violence isn't the answer as your last breath coming out?
Hey, Stacey.
Why are you so upset about if we get blown up, not that if other people get blown up?
Because we
the same thing. People are going to die, and it's not right if they deserve it. If they're innocent people, they don't deserve to die.
You know what? They wanted to die. They wouldn't have crashed themselves suicide into a building and killing a million other people.
Those people did that. Those people deserve to die because of that.
Where do you think that came from? You think it was just them in a little country called those people, and they just hopped on the plane, and that's all that was left is just those people? They're ingrained. They're in a lot of different countries in this world. It's not just a group that you can find and take care of. You have to weed them out of the countries that support them and allow this to go on, Stacey. We're not terrorists, like you say. We're not as bad as them. Look at the last war, the Persian Gulf War. We went out of our way to keep civilians from being killed at the risk of pilots. We made sure that flight plans and bombs were dropped on areas that wouldn't kill civilians. And is that terrorism?
That's good. That's wonderful. And that's what
it doesn't work. That was the way of the 1900s. We're in the 2000s now. The new way is to F them up so bad that these countries think twice about helping these terrorists out.
That's how Saddam got away. We were too careful.
Too careful. That son of a bitch should have been dead.
We should have blown up Saddam when we knew where he was, and we were so worried about taking out innocent people, quote, your innocent people, that look who's doing it now.
See? All right, came back to bite us in the ass.
Heather, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bravo, Heather.
I needed to vent, all right?
Stacey, turn on the TV and look what's happening in this world.
Check out the front page of your paper, all right?
Yeah, watch the people falling 80 stories out of windows to their death.
That just wanted to go to work.
Unbelievable that thinking like that. That's the thinking that got us here.
Mark, what's going on? You're next on the Opie and Anthony show.
Hi, I just wanted to tell Stacey that, they bombed Gaddafi, they killed his son 15 years ago, and he hasn't been heard of since.
One of the biggest terrorists of the early 80s was Muammar Gaddafi. This son of a bitch was responsible for so many terrorist acts. And what happened? Ronnie Reagan sent the planes in, bombed him. He wound up killing his daughter. And we never heard from him again. This guy.
That's right.
Never heard. He stripped his ass right up.
That's right. I watched yesterday. I was 5 blocks away when the building fell, and I say just, do whatever you can to kill these people.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
We got the board out from Cleveland, our Cleveland station. Dan, what's up? Dan, you still on the line?
Yeah, I'm still here, man.
What do you want to say?
Hey, Cleveland is going nuts because Stacey is from Cleveland.
Right.
I'm the producer. I'm the guy that runs the board at 92.3, and Cleveland is just absolutely going nuts that she even said she was from Cleveland. I'm telling you that right now, guys.
I have a feeling the vibe there in Cleveland is a little different than she was putting across.
Yeah. I want you, and everybody wants you guys to know that is not how Cleveland feels. She is one person in a huge city that's behind everybody in New York.
Yeah. Oh wait, her last name is coming in. It was Stacey Bin Laden. Oh, I'm sorry. Now it makes sense.
Yeah, we know that, Dan. Thank you.
All right, guys. Later.
Thanks, man.
Let's go to Francesco. Francesco.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey.
Yeah, the remark to that Stacey chick, I don't know if you guys remember yesterday when there was, you see those people hanging out the windows, and beneath them, the plane already crashed. Those people had no way of getting out. The stairs were gone, and their last chance of hope is people looking at them. And by looking at them on TV and just watching them, and that there's no way they're alive, how can this freaking twat, Stacey, say something like that? These people had no way of leaving. They're stuck up there. Only God knows who can help them. They had no way of getting out, and that's the only last cry for help. And
it amazes me that
it's unbelievable. I can't help, especially a woman like that saying something like that. It's like choking her right now.
It amazes me that there's people out there like Stacey that think that, and she is, I hate to say it, but she is entitled to her opinion.
Oh, yeah,
but I can't understand how you could watch something like what happened yesterday and have that mindset. We tried it her way. It's been her way for so long. We don't go into other countries and bomb them on the basis of them supporting a terrorist. We haven't done this before. Like I said, we're very surgical with taking out military targets and trying to save the civilians. We've done that for years. We're the nice nation.
Yeah.
But you know something? They don't understand that. Unless war is as horrible as the war that was perpetrated upon us yesterday, for them, what's going to stop them? Oh, we killed some soldiers at a SAM missile site, but the kids' school and the hospital are fine. No, you have to make them understand.
And they took advantage of it. There was explosives in the milk factory. We went during the Gulf War. It's milk. It's milk. Yeah, it's milk that blows up.
Yeah, they moved They started moving people to various hospitals and milk factories for the children.
You and your children are at risk.
Yeah, they're building rail guns and whatnot under the guise that they're water purification plants.
You and your dancing children.
And we're being all nice. Just what you said before. The fact that we didn't just go into Baghdad and kill him, Saddam Hussein, is a testament to the fact that we just don't do that. Well, you know something? It's a new century, and now it's time to do that. It's all they understand.
The rules changed, and they changed.
Right. They brought it right to our biggest city.
So,
and now it's time to do something about it. Our policy is that we don't assassinate leaders. That is Gerald Ford's debacle back when he was in office. The guy did nothing.
He ain't in office no more.
Right. That Gerald Ford, a waste of space in the White House after Nixon lost his effing mind.
That's it.
And lost the office. They put in this Gerald Ford, who was never elected to office, and he signs a bill into law that the United States will not participate in assassinations of people, which means we couldn't just go in to kill Saddam just to kill him. If as we were bombing a building he died, whatever. But we should have been able to send people in to kill him, just like Bin Laden. We don't do that. You know something? It's a different time than it was in the mid-'70s.
Ford's no longer the president. We're coming to get you.
Hey, right.
Stacey pissed off so many people. Chris is a New York City cop. Chris, what's up? You're next.
Hey, Opie, Anthony.
Hey.
My name's Chris. I'm a New York City cop.
What's up, man?
Spent about 20 hours outside City Hall yesterday. The other destruction that's going on is unbelievable. What these people don't understand is the people who did this are like the army there. They don't wear green uniforms. They don't wear blue uniforms. They walk down their streets carrying their AK-47s, and nobody cares. What are we going to do about this? It's crazy.
We're going to screw them up so they think twice about ever helping these people.
You know, we have all these liberal people in this country. And, Opie, I'm a Democrat. But you know what? I'm a cop now, and I see the way this liberal world thinks that, we should just turn the other cheek, and we shouldn't fight back. That's their army. You know what? Bomb them.
You know what,
do
Chris?
surgical strikes, bomb them.
You know something, Chris? It almost worked in the past because you could protest here, and it's all right to think like Stacey or think like we do and hold up signs and really pour out what you're feeling in protest. And the results, you never really see them. The people that have died in the past have been military people, and that's tragic. It's tragic, but they go into it knowing it's their job.
Right.
Nowadays, it's coming home, people. It's international terrorists coming to your office buildings now and killing you. So you can't now just sit back and think about it like we did in the past. Action has to be taken, unlike it's ever been taken before, just like they're doing.
Absolutely.
This is a new kind of war. We've seen thousands die and landmarks destroyed, and we can't deal with it the way we used to deal with war.
No, they're killing thousands of people. When's the last time the United States went in and killed 1,000 people? They don't even do it during the war.
No, we know where people are.
They take out the vent.
We take out equipment, right. We take out equipment. We hit those places.
Well, guess
that
what?
Vent,
I'm not saying that children,
but people on their equipment. They don't have they're using our equipment. They're using our friggin' airplanes.
Right.
Well, the best is, I'm sure these guys probably got, like, college tuition payments from our government to go take these flying lessons.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing.
Hey, Chris, why don't you tell Stacey what you have seen in the last 20 years? 20 hours.
I'm not going to joke. I wasn't in the actual zone. I was right by City Hall, and I ran for my lives when that second building fell.
Yeah.
The black smoke. Opie, I don't want to curse, but that's the most scared I've ever been on as a police officer.
You sound shooken up still.
My father's New York City fireman for 30 years. I'm a cop for about 5 years. I'm going to be 30 years old, and you know, these people say we should turn the other cheek. My father knows people who are dead. I don't know if people that I work, not in my personal precinct, but people in Manhattan, I'm sure there's cops that are dead that I know.
Stacey, you listening? It's cops and firemen.
And you run in. You know, people don't understand.
And ran in to help.
Yeah.
Like, I visited my father's old firehouse today. I took the day off because I couldn't go back into work today. We didn't get back till late. I needed the day off, and I went with my father to his firehouse, and the guy's like, oh, how come your son became a cop? Why didn't he become a fireman? Fireman's such a great job, which it is. It's 10 times better than being a New York State police officer because you have all these liberal people second guessing your every move.
Right. No one ever turns around and goes, why'd you put out that fire?
Right. And my father said to his friend, he said, what are you crazy? My son ran into burning buildings? This is what firemen do, and God bless them, Opie. The building collapsed, and my job there is to get the people away. The fireman's job is to run into that building.
Mm-hmm.
And, I sit there, and I sent you guys a message before, about that liberal ass, Tom, who just pissed me the hell off. If maybe he would feel the rage I'm feeling if he listened on the radio to police officers on our division radio screaming for help that were trapped on the second floor. I have my wife who wants me to open up to her. And this is the way I'm opening up to her now. She's in the bedroom. She's listening on the tape delay of when this goes on the air.
Mm-hmm.
And it's infuriating that we have people that that are dead, and there are people in this country who just want to turn the other cheek. They're saying you're inflaming the fires, you're fanning the flames.
Yeah.
But you're not saying go to Bensonhurst, go to Bay Ridge. If you see an Arab person, kill them. You're not saying that. And by no means am I saying that. I'm saying, find people who are responsible, find Osama bin Laden, find Hamas, find anyone who's ever committed a terrorist attack. And it's time to maybe do some surgical strikes on their neighborhoods.
Some house cleaning.
Yes. Find the Hamas, find the people who did the coal. You know what? I forgot about the coal.
Yeah, a lot of people
nothing
did.
has been done about it.
A lot of people did. Everyone just forgot. The people that were right there next to the hull, they didn't forget.
Mm-hmm.
The families of those people that died, they didn't forget, and nothing happened. They didn't respond to it. And I will be so effing pissed off if nothing comes of this. I can only see a revolution in this country if nothing comes of this, because how pissed off everybody is. But I mean, we need the strongest response we have ever done,
and quickly.
I was standing underneath the Manhattan Bridge. We got there about 10 o'clock after the first two planes hit. And we saw the first tower go down. Can I say shit my pants? I doubt I can. You're probably going to have to dump out of that.
That's fine.
But,
we're playing on new rules today.
Awesome, guys. Awesome. But that was the best feeling in the world was when I saw our American fighter jets flying over Manhattan.
Yeah,
because we were hearing rumors that there were 8 planes that were taken, and, there were only 4 that accounted for. The best feeling in my world was hearing. You heard the jet sound. You got scared for a minute, and then you saw the jet.
You realized it was a fighter.
You realized it was the good old USA coming to your rescue.
And another plane ain't coming close with that guy in the sky.
Absolutely. It was beautiful. Yep. I just wish that George Bush would come out a little more stronger. Like you say, shoot from the hip.
Yeah.
Don't talk. Don't do the rhyming speeches. Don't try to sound like Jesse Jackson up there. Just shoot from the hip.
Right.
I understand you don't want to be excited, you don't want to act out of control, you don't want to be judged as irrational, but show a little more emotion.
I want a little relatability. I want to be able to look at him and go, he's as pissed as we are.
I saw General Norman Schwarzkopf in 2 separate interviews. The second interview, he looked even more pissed off than he was in the first.
And just like everybody, it kind of grows on you, and you get more infuriated and more bummed out about what happened as time goes by, and you want some kind of resolve.
Maybe you go to Afghanistan, like you said, you have 48 hours. We want Osama bin Laden and 50 of his followers, 50 of the people who conspired, because they are murderers. You conspire to murder, you kill American citizens, you're destroying American property.
Yeah.
And we need leadership. You don't say we have an unyielding anger.
We give these countries billions of dollars a year total in aid to all these countries.
Yeah,
it's about time we get some of that back.
And we help out whenever there's a natural disaster. Who's the first country there?
Exactly.
And are our children waving flags, laughing at their misfortune? No, they fill out cards. They send get well cards to the children of countries. Yep. I mean, and they're raising their little animals just to turn into war machines. And it's got to be stopped. It's a brand new type of war, and it's going to take a brand new type of U.S. policy, which doesn't include being nice and being cognizant of the people's feelings in this.
Well, one of the unfortunate things is it's not just one generation of people, it's a generation that's my age, and it's their children. Because now if you go in and kill their fathers, now the 10-year-old child is going to grow up and he's going to want to go kill Americans. It's a vicious cycle, but what do? You got to get the people in power out of there. And if they're not going to get up and do it, or they don't object to it, then they are partners in this terrorism.
Yeah.
And if you go along with what your country does, you're going along with it, you're believing in their war. Then just as when we invaded Normandy, we stormed the beaches, they were in German uniforms. Unfortunately, these countries, they don't wear uniforms. They wear, jeans, sneakers, and, they have an AK-47 strapped to the back. There's going to be some collateral damage if they go, but I don't know who's the terrorist there and who's an innocent person. And unfortunately, maybe some innocent people are going to die if we do airstrikes.
Well, I feel bad for collateral damage, but look where the Twin Towers used to be.
Yeah, I know.
I've seen it. I saw it today. I saw it yesterday, and I can't remember what the Twin Towers looked like.
I know. Yeah,
I can't remember exactly where they were.
You know something? It's strange you say that. When I was driving in today, we were looking at where the Twin Towers were, and I couldn't figure out how tall they were, how much taller than the other buildings they were. I'm like, did it go up to there or there? You just forget, and you realize how much of the city was just taken away. Such an important part of New York City was just taken away, and it just pisses you off, man.
Okay, Anthony, I'm going to get going because I want to cut the lines. I just want to remind everyone about the innocent people that died yesterday.
Yeah, let's not forget.
And the families. There's got to be 50,000 families that lost people yesterday, or know people who lost people.
All right, Chris.
Fathers who lost their sons who were cops and firemen, and children who now won't have fathers if they were firemen. It's just sad. Give blood. Donate money to the charity they're setting up. And you know what? We live in this country, and it's a beautiful thing, and you have the right to believe what you believe. If you want to be a liberal, you can be a liberal. If you want to be a hawk, if you want to be a conservative, can be a hawk and a conservative. I try to stay moderate. At times like this, you got to return vengeance with vengeance.
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
All right, Chris.
Okay, Anthony, and just one more thing. My brothers in blue and all the firemen out there, be safe.
All right,
bye-bye, guys.
Thank you. Wow. Jenny.
Yo.
Hey.
Hey, Don.
Boys, I got to tell you that this has been the most profound sadness I've ever felt in my life. To view the democracy that I know took care of me every night when I went to sleep, being attacked by this evil. And I called you, first off, to tell you about something that I found very inspiring to happen. But I got a couple more responses after that, okay?
All right.
Well, yesterday, in a profound sense of loss and weeping and disbelief, I watched the television all day. I tuned into you guys for a brief while, and I heard somebody say, listen, fly the colors. If you do nothing else, get a flag and put a flag where somebody could see it. And I got myself together today and decided to go out and buy a flag. And I went to someplace I never go. I went to Kmart. And right at the door, they had flags. And I grabbed the flag, and I felt a little corny. I didn't know if, people were going to be looking at me as if I was a radical.
Did they up the prices of the flags?
No.
Like they're doing with the gas?
About $1.50.
Oh, another thing. Let me just interrupt for a minute.
So listen to this, fellas. Here I am online with my flag. And all of a sudden, next to me, around me, I see all walks of life. I'm talking clearly, construction workers, guys that just got off the job. I'm talking teenagers. I'm talking everybody with their flags. Behind me, people are excusing themselves out of lines. They're getting flags.
Oh, yeah.
Before you know it, and we're all giving each other the hi. You know what I mean? Everybody gets one. Now there's got to be a rush to the flags. There's got to be about 20 or 30 people, right, buying 3 and 4 flags at a time. I got them pasted up all on my windows now, but I need to respond to something that I heard earlier on the television show when somebody called in, and Anthony, I thank you for correcting him, when he said, this is what the Israelis deal with every day.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. In fact, if it wasn't for the Israelis, I dare say we wouldn't be the target we are.
Now, the other side of the spectrum.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Drop bombs. Everybody's been saying that. That's the easy way out. That's not the way we're going to do this. You know what we're going to do? We're going to mobilize an army, and we're going to teach them a lesson. And we're going to take care of Uncle Saddam, who is definitely a part of this, who's definitely lending money, military strategy, and whatever else he can because he got his ass whipped so bad. And what we're going to do is teach the lesson that we taught in World War II. We're going to mobilize an army, we're going to occupy their countries, and they're going to be our bitches.
Well, that would be nice.
All right, Jenny, thank you.
You know what the scariest thing was yesterday? The Statue of Liberty with the Twin Towers gone and all the smoke around it.
Oh, I know.
That scared the hell out of me.
Well, there were other, targets that you would imagine they would aim for, but they weren't just going for symbolic. They were going for loss of huge amounts of life. Because there were other things that could have done more damage, but the loss of life, they knew, was right there.
Eric, what's up?
Hello?
Hey.
Yeah, man. Fucking yesterday, when the second building fell, I was like, man, fucking scared, man. Cause,
wait, Eric?
Yeah.
What's the F word?
We really want this on the air, and we have no idea how they're handling the show down the hall today, so...
Yeah, but just try to,
try not to tear that out. We want to get your feelings on the air, okay?
It's just that I'm really, I'm pissed, man, because, I have two cousins and a best friend that work in building 2.
Yeah.
And, my cousin worked on, the 70th floor. And, my best friend worked on, the 50th. And, they found the bodies.
Oh, damn.
And I called St. Business, and they're going to find them. And then I kept calling, and they said that they left early for work, and they were still there. And then today I called, and they found their body. And I was listening to the show, and I heard fucking Stacy, talking crap, and I was like, yo, my best friend's daughter's 8 years old, when she's old and she's asking, where's daddy, it's gonna be like, she's like, be diplomatic, forget that, man.
Yeah, these bastards, man, they gotta pay for this. They gotta pay. I mean, there's no bringing anyone back, which is a bitch, but, we gotta make them pay so this doesn't happen again. Too many people died for us to brush this one under the carpet or do a symbolic little throw a few cruise missiles. We have to do something that will eliminate this from happening in the future. And that means changing the way we deal with this stuff, because we can't just sit back and have had this happen without doing something about it.
I was when she was talking, I was just thinking when she she's 8 years old right now, and when she was 14 or 15 and asking where's my dad, I'm her godfather, so right now she looks up to me because she has no father figure. How am I supposed to explain that he died in this? And what makes me feel worse is that I helped him get that job.
Oof, wow.
I just feel like crying because I almost led him to his death.
Nah, your fault. You keep looking back and tracing to one thing or another, but no, the thing that killed them were those bastards that flew those planes into the tower.
They should just take all those turban heads away and just kill them all.
Hey, tell her, he died in a war. Because that's the truth of it, man.
Well, yeah.
Awful. Eric, man, you take care.
Take care.
There you go. One of the many stories like that. Just heartbreaking.
If the guy that called in,
just heartbreaking.
I was on the phone with a trooper. If the guy that called in about the story with the 3 guys getting on the plane, remember that call right before I came in?
Mm-hmm.
If he's out there, call back in because there's some authorities that want to talk to him about it and what he heard.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
About that.
All right.
How do you deal with something like that? How do you deal with something like that? Why do we have to sit here and even deal with this?
There's thousands of those stories today.
Thousands.
Yeah.
And this ain't even the 100th of it. How the hell are we going to sit back and bury over 400 fire and policemen. How does the city do that?
It's not even 400. There's thousands of people.
Yeah, well, they don't have any final number, but it doesn't matter. You know, when recently 3 New York firefighters died in the line of duty.
Father's Day.
Yeah.
Or right around Father's Day.
The city fell apart, man. It was heart-wrenching to sit and watch this. How do you deal with hundreds? We shouldn't have to, and for some reason
hundreds
now we
of
do.
Fire guys. And
just
thousands
New York
of
City
people.
Police.
I'm so disgusted. But maybe I'm working up people too much. Am I?
No.
Am I working people up a little too much?
It's raw emotion.
Work people up enough to get up the energy to swim over there and beat the hell out of them.
You know, if we could as humans, you know how many people would be swimming over just to punch people?
I wish I had the gift of flight.
You know, it's so friggin' not right.
You know what?
To have to sit here and deal with this.
You know, I was going to go to more calls, but, you know, there's nothing to say after that last call.
Yeah.
There really isn't.
That pretty much says it all.
We're out of here.
Man. All right, man.
Ron and Fez will continue in New York.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Yeah, just, you know, what else can you say? Hang in there as a city and a country, and just
God bless the fire and police.
Yes, and sit and hope this is handled in a way it should be handled, with some new thinking going into this, not the same old crap we've dealt with in dealing with this type of terrorism. It's a new millennium, and there's got to be new ways of dealing with this.
How about? I hope this doesn't sound stupid, like just we'll do a moment of silence for the victims, and then we'll go to our sister station, 1010 wins, and then Ron and Fez will continue, okay?
Cool, and we'll see you tomorrow.